Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to Fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams.
And welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryant, am I right? You're right. Everybody's right, which means I'm Eli Moon. We're back here for a Thursday edition of Inside Edge Primetime. So happy you're with us. Thanks for joining along once again. Appreciate you spending your evening here with us. We are so happy to be here with you here on the Inside Edge Network. A lot going on here. My hair has been on fire throughout the day. And as you saw, the ID was so nice, we had to play it twice. But we appreciate you for being here with us. Cleveland's digital leader, your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. Make sure, of course, if you haven't been here before, hello. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow at Inside Edge Net on all the socials, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. Smash that notification bell so you know when we're going live across all the socials. 4 daily shows for you on Filter with Kyle Cornell. Of course, you have Inside Edge Primetime, The Daily Spiral, and Midnight Run. A lot of great stuff coming your way here very, very soon, as you may have heard. And if you haven't, you'll hear it a little bit later on tonight. Of course, check out about all your favorite personalities at InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Again, InsideEdgeNetwork.com, where you can read about Chad Bryant. And everybody does a great job. Go check out our partners page. Couldn't do without them. Fanatics.com, AlleyRoseFragrances.com, Monster Moments, SportsMemorabilia.com, W Energy, and and Omega Video Marketing, and Fanatics. Shout out Fanatics as well. And of course, marketing. You can go to the merchandise store. Go ahead and grab that shirt, hat, mug, polo, windbreak, whatever it is. Rep Cleveland's digital leader, your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. And check us out on Roku. Take us wherever you want to go on the road with the Inside Edge Network app on Roku. All right, a lot to get into here tonight. And my goodness, words are going to be difficult. So we're going to work on those throughout the hour. But we're going to get through it here, folks. A lot to get into. But before we get into any of it, Chad Bryant, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. I gotta, I keep thinking I gotta get a windbreaker.
Yes.
I need to have the Inside Edge logo on me while I break wind.
Yes.
I think it's important. I can't stop making that joke. It's once a week now. I'm sorry. I'm doing pretty good. I got the grass mowed today. That was good.
Yeah.
Talking of that this week, this summer has been the struggle of me trying to mow grass. Whether I need to mow it and can't get to it or whatever, it's just like not right. Do I mow it? Will he? Won't he? I don't know. It's like a love story for all the time. I don't know, whatever. But I got the grass mowed today, and now I'm listening to it thunder, and it's like pouring down rain. And I'm like, I feel pretty good about that, man. I rushed to get it in, and I actually did it for a reason. It's raining now, so got the grass mowed, got everything edged, and now it's raining, so that feels pretty good. That's like ultimate dad mode, by the way.
That's right.
When you're a dad and you're almost 50 years old, the best thing ever is mowing the grass and then listening to the rain that evening. It's perfection.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. I'm doing all right, man. I appreciate you. We are in the rain, and I was talking to my brother-in-law earlier. He talked about how he's going to see Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters later on next week, or beginning of next week on Monday. So Dave Grohl and all the guys rocking out the Foo Fighters, and he's like, I hope it doesn't rain. And I pulled up the weather forecast for the next 10 days, and it's like rain, thunderstorm, and rain. I mean, it's just, what can we do? We're in that time.
I appreciate the beautiful leaves in the fall later. Like maybe not on Monday. Maybe this rain stinks or whatever, but when he sees the nice, pretty leaves in the fall, he'll go, it was all worth it.
Well, I could have swore Kyle told us we're having a longer summer. I could have swore we were having a longer summer because of the way Memorial Day fell or Labor Day fell rather. And, we'll see. I trust the bro, and hopefully we get a little bit, few days of some more sunshine. Because I'll tell you this, Chad, I'm not ready for the snow. I'm not ready for even the cold. I'm not ready to put on a jacket that is, has to be on all day. I'm cool on it. I'll be honest. To be truthfully honest, I can't even do AC half the time. I'm the guy that you have to tell me it's actually hot in the house for me to turn the AC on. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm a freeze baby. What can we do? But we are rocking and rolling.
My wife's so mad, man. I need it cold, dude. I gotta have like.
I get it, man. I just can't. Man. I don't know. I'm such a summer baby. I was joking with my, mom and pops that I'm a West Coast baby born in East Coast state, and here we are in Ohio. So
There you are.
Here we are. But we had a lot to get into, of course. Speaking of Ohio, there's some action going on in Canton right now. It's still currently in play. It's the NFL Hall of Fame game. It's the Arizona Cardinals and Carolina Panthers. For you football enthusiasts, obviously we are as well. I'm sure you were chomping at the bits for Carson Beck versus Kenny Pickett. And that's what the starting matchup was. Obviously, some other guys got in there as well. And
it's like Elway versus Montana. It's amazing.
Yes, but to the max. But with all that being said, obviously these guys are trying to get some reps in. Beck, is going to probably be the backup behind Jacoby Brissett, barring any substantial preseason movement. And then, of course, the Panthers, you have Bryce Young there. Kenny Pickett's going to get some reps in. Just kind of see where his future leads. This was a former first-round pick from the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pickett. And Beck, of course, a later-round pick by the Cardinals. We'll see. I thought it was interesting to see Jeremiah Love do his thing for a little bit, just kind of get active, catch the passes, being a passing back. And also, he's going to be electric for Arizona. They may not be good. He's going to be electric.
No, but he's a guy that can start to build around in that offense a little bit. I mean, they've had some struggles with all kinds of things. I mean, drops from, guys who you thought would be premier wide receivers in the NFL, quarterbacks who'd rather play video games than prep for football.
Yes.
Had all kinds of problems with that offense. So it's good to have a guy that can maybe, hopefully for them, stabilize it a little bit and get it moved in the right direction.
I agree. Now, I got a hot take on Kyler Murray. I told the AA off air. I don't think I can really share it tonight because, I'll share it. But I can't expand upon it until we got other business to take care of. But Kyler Murray is going to be an MVP candidate this year.
Okay.
Kyler Murray and the Minnesota Vikings, watch out.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. Watch out for the Minnesota Vikings. And, if I'm wrong, we'll just burn the tape. With that being said, well, let's get into what really the Hall of Fame game and kind of encapsulates, which is the weekend coming up here. This weekend, we get the 2026 NFL Hall of Fame Hall of Fame class.
Yeah.
They were drafted many, many years ago, and now they are Hall of Famers. And we got a very interesting list here, Chad Bryan. We have, of course, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly. You have Adam Vinatieri, Drew Brees. Papa Moon was like, Roger Craig better be in there, right? Roger Craig, and yes, Roger Craig's in there as well.
I thought you were saying Papa Moon got in. I was like, he finally Papa, but not yet. Not this year.
No, they're talking that he was just too nice of a guy, he didn't have enough grit. So yeah, I don't know, but
killer instinct, yeah.
Yes. But what do you think of this NFL Hall of Fame 2026 class? Because what kind of stood out to me was, first off, these a lot of guys I've seen play, my childhood. I know, we're a little bit a ways in age. So for you, maybe like your early teenager years, you kind of seen these guys coming up, but it was interesting.
What are you trying to?
I'm just saying, you're in your prime, but you're in your a little bit more of your prime than I am.
On prime time.
Yes. Yeah. I love it. But, Vinatieri, Kuechly, Brees, Fitzgerald, those are guys that I remember, like, when I first started falling in love with the game of football. What have you thought, or what do you think so far of this Hall of Fame class before they kind of speak this weekend?
I mean, it's crazy because these are some of the premier guys. I mean, when I growing up, I mean, I think of like Elway and Montana. Like I was joking about Elway and Montana, but that's the era. That's my era, right? So I watched Roger Craig or Roger Craig, however you want to say it. It's fine. You can, yeah. Legend says you can pronounce it either way, or Legend says that you can pronounce it either way.
Wow.
No, Roger Craig was the first running back to rush for and catch passes or receive. That's the word, receive. Receive for 1,000 yards in the season. He did it in 85. So. That's Larry Fitzgerald, I think, is second behind Jerry Rice in pretty much every major, receiving stat. Not every major, but the big ones. Vinatieri. I mean, how many big kicks did Adam Vinatieri hit? I mean, Drew Brees was electric for years. I mean, the ultimate indoor quarterback, right? I mean, it just seemed like the Saints were playing like arena football for a while. They were throwing the ball all over the place. And Luke Kuechly, I mean, just a steady tackler. He just was all over the field. Sometimes it felt like there were two Luke Kuechleys out there. I don't know. It's a great class. I mean, I can't. How can you look at this list of guys and find any holes, right? I mean, this is what a Hall of Fame class is all about. It's just some of the best of the best.
Are you shocked still that Bill Belichick or Robert Kraft is not in this Hall of Fame class? Because if people are going to poke holes, I'd imagine those are going to be the two that stand out the most. Bill Belichick, a substantial winner, a guy that changed the culture in New England. He has the rings, the 6 championships there in New England. And of course, Robert Kraft, the owner of the organization, still the owner of this the Patriots organization. Has the shock worn off, or has this weekend kind of reminded you that how isn't there one more spot for either one of those guys?
I think they'll get in eventually, but I think it's one of those things where it's like they've both been mired in kind of like some off the field stuff. There was like, the whole whatever, filming practices, right? That Belichick was kind of central to that. He's going to get lumped in with Deflategate a little bit with Brady. Robert Kraft had his own thing going on. Don't need to necessarily get into the mechanics of that. But yeah, I mean, they both had some things off the field, and I think sometimes this is how professional sports works, right? Like think of baseball, right? The sports writers vote players in, and if you do anything to kind of like draw the sports writers' ire, you're gonna have to wait a while, right? You might have to get in a different way, and I think this is maybe the reason that Belichick and Kraft aren't in yet. I think they're gonna have to wait a little bit. They'll eventually be there. Maybe posthumous for one of them, but unfortunately that's the way that works. But I don't know. I think they'll get in eventually, but I think it's one of those things where it's like, okay, the off the field stuff, the cheating, the whatever, the scandals, all the stuff, right, kind of got wrapped up with those two, and I think maybe that's the reason they're not really included in the class.
That makes sense. It'd be almost poetic justice if Eli Manning gets in the same year as Belichick and Kraft. The two blemishes on their record, obviously before the Eagles and all that, but the first two blemishes on that record being for those New York Giants led by Eli Manning. And I know the stats aren't necessarily stand out in terms of the interception, the touchdown ratio. He was never an MVP of the league. But man, you beat Brady twice and somebody that nobody really thought, right? Tom Brady at that time, especially in 2007, was untouchable. That team was untouchable. They were 18-0, and it wasn't like they had two superstar receivers and a tailback that's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, all credit to those guys. I believe Brandon Jacobs was the running back for that team, and of course, you had Plaxico Burress and David Tyree. But I mean, I don't know. I'm honestly shocked, just based off of how much lore the Manning name draws. From Peyton, of course, and now Arch, now at Texas. Their nephew. I'm shocked that Eli Manning didn't get in this year. That's, I think, the one that stands out to me the most.
And it's funny too, because I know everybody, you think Peyton Manning first, right? And then obviously Archie Manning was a legend. And Eli Manning is maybe like the most unassuming of the three. It feels like one of those things where like in, I don't know, 60, 70 years down the line, some kid's going to be, when I was a kid, I would read like the football and baseball encyclopedias or whatever, right? Just read like who? Wow, that's how I'd learn about a lot of players. I feel like people are going to read about Eli Manning, 50, 70, 80 years from now and go, wait, Peyton Manning had a brother?
Right.
That's who that guy was? Like,
yeah.
Okay, because like his career's numbers, like you said, they're all right. But then he's got two of the biggest Super Bowl wins. I don't know. It's or two of the biggest wins, whatever, over Tom Brady and the Super Bowl win, the 18-0 team. Like, it's just, he was always in the mix. Like, despite kind of being looked at as maybe not quite as good as Peyton, he still got it done, man.
Sure did. He sure did. And I'm sure we'll see him in the Hall of Fame here sooner than later. Some other names that'll become relevant in terms of Hall of Fame discussion. Phillip Rivers, I believe, has restarted his clock, but 5 years from now, Phillip Rivers will be in that discussion again. And of course, some other names that stand out.
They've got to make it. It's got to be maybe like a 3-week period. Like, you can't really, they can't do that to him, can they?
I think they're going to, buddy. I think they're going to. But here's the good news, though. His kids will be able to see, and really see him get into the Hall of Fame because he'll be a little bit older. His kids are a little bit younger for the most part. So,
it'll be good. He'll have time to get those shoes that he had to take out of the case. He'll have time to get those remounted then before he goes into the Hall of Fame. Because
I kept thinking about this too, Chad B. I got to be honest, not to interrupt you, but I was thinking about this too with Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers and Antonio Cromartie, they got larger families.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the day where the Chargers have Rivers and Cromartie Jr. or somebody, or just Rivers and Cromartie back on the field. I can't wait. I think that could be a thing. We talk about Bronny James with the Lakers and all these other, father sons. I mean, the Rivers and Cromartie families, there's got to be some football players out of those two. So we'll see.
You want to talk about two names together that sounds like a law firm too? Rivers and Cromartie. That's hurt in a car. Call Rivers and Cromartie. You know what I mean? That's perfect. I don't know why it's perfect.
Not messing with those guys. My goodness.
No, not at all. They got the connections. They're lawyers.
Well, the other thing that stood out to me too, you sent this over to me, was I believe this was ESPN's Bill Barnwell, and he's talking about future Hall of Famers, and I kind of skimmed through the list and just saw some of the names that stood out, and I guess I wasn't shocked, right? I mean, a few of them, I was like, but what did you make of the list? Because you sent this over to me, and it kind of just seems, I don't know, it's so hard to predict Hall of Famers, but it kind of seems spot on for the most part.
It is, and I was surprised that, I focused specifically on the Browns, and I was shocked to see, not Denzel Ward, I wasn't shocked to see that. I thought, that's probably, I don't know if it's an afterthought, but he's had a really good career. He's been a shutdown corner his whole career. Sometimes I think when you have a corner that takes away a side of the field, sometimes they don't have the stats, right? So it's like, well, this guy doesn't have like 10 picks a year. Like, why is he so well? They don't throw at him, right? Like that side of the field's gone on game day. It's gone on Sundays. You don't even look there. So, but yeah, to see Schlesinger and Jared Verse there, I was like, okay, like he went with some young players. Like I thought we were going to tie back in, like, Nick Chubb to the Browns or whatever. You would think that when Chubb goes in, he would go in as a Brown, right? If he's inducted in the Hall of Fame, he would probably be Brown. But it's not the same as baseball. You don't wear the hat or whatever. So I guess that's not really a thing in football. But just I guess the thought would be that he was a Cleveland Brown all his his prime of his career anyway. But yeah, to pick out Schlesinger and Verse based on Defensive Rookie of the Year awards, a couple of Pro Bowls, whatever, All Pro. I thought that was like interesting. I mean, that's going out on a limb, right? But I mean, do you think that? I mean, it's so hard to say after 1 year with Schlesinger, right. But even with Verse after 2 years, I mean, do you think that do you look at those guys and say like, hey, they're on a Hall of Fame trajectory for the Browns? I mean, is that what you think when you look at them?
I mean, based off of Verse has a Defensive Rookie of the Year. I believe 2-time All Pro for the NFL. So a guy that stands out in terms of he's already made a name early on, and Schlesinger Defensive Rookie of the Year. So based off what they've done trajectory-wise, I can understand where Bill Barnwell is going with this from ESPN. He's saying, hey, these guys are on the right track. And keep in mind, these are going to be two guys that are the leaders of this defense in Cleveland for hopefully years to come. They're both young. They're going to be the staples of a Browns defense. Now, Denzel Ward, he's an interesting case. You can argue the loyalty thing. He's been with the same team in the same state his entire career, going all the way back to high school. But you also have, the playoff win that is very iconic here in Cleveland because we don't get many of those as Browns fans, and he is part of that team that did it. He stayed multiple times, and the stats aren't going to blow you away. He never was a guy that was getting a ton of takeaways or anything like that. But what he provided was a shutdown corner. And I think maybe that's what limits him is the stats, because it doesn't have as many interceptions or knockdowns as Darrelle Revis and other guys that get mentioned when you talk about lockdown corners. But Denzel Ward, let's not make any mistakes here. He was a top 5 corner in the league for the last 7-8 years, if not longer. I mean, this guy has been absolutely incredible.
Do you think Denzel Ward's career would look any different if the Browns typically went into the fourth quarter with leads and had teams still throwing the ball in the fourth quarter? It's like you get a whole quarter basically taken off. You don't have to worry about pass defense when you're down 2 scores in the fourth quarter in the NFL. I mean, the team's going to run the ball, right? I just wonder how that affects, how if the Browns had been 12-4 or 12-5 when they went to 17 games every year, how that would affect his career, what his numbers would really look like. Truly, I know you'll never know, but it's just something to ponder on. I think we should fold a corner over, like they say, just fold the corner and save the page on that list. I think we should, as the season goes on and as we're doing primetime, when certain guys do that, I think we need to go back to that Bill Barnwell list and just go, hey, well, is he still looking like a future Hall of Famer? I thought it was a fun list, man. Like I said, I didn't get much past the Browns portion of it, but it's fun to go out on a limb and try to project that far ahead. I thought that was pretty cool. So
absolutely. And I got to be honest, before we go to break here, the one name that stood out to me, not a Cleveland Brown, but for San Francisco 49er, that he's on the cusp. He's not there yet. George Kittle. Yeah. That kind of surprised me, man. I understand the injuries, but he's been a big component for both of those Super Bowl appearing teams for the San Francisco 49ers. Everything he does, maybe I'm different. And of course, I'm not on the voting board, but I take into account that he is literally doing tight end university. He's leading that charge, helping the next generation. So what he's giving back to the game, he's been with one team his entire career, and he has pretty impressive stats. Yeah. And that's kind of shocking to me that he's not in, but you look at some of these other guys that have kind of stood out. Like, okay, TJ Watt in right now. TJ Watt's a Hall of Famer right now. I just don't know. I don't know. Like what, and I know they play different sides of the ball, but what exactly are we going off of? Like I said, I think it's a strong list for the most part, but like the Kittle thing as opposed to TJ Watt, for Pittsburgh being in, I get Josh Allen, looking at Buffalo for a moment. Of course he's going to be in because he's a great quarterback for Buffalo. But what are we measuring these guys on exactly? Because if we're doing stats and everything else and what they mean to their team, George Kittle should have been a Hall of Famer lock like 2 years ago.
Yeah, probably. Another one that, since you said a non-Brown, Joe Burrow, it said he had some work to do. And I thought, okay, yeah. And it's not necessarily that Barnwell is wrong about that. It's just funny to me. It was not funny even. But it was just, it struck me as crazy as how quickly Joe Burrow went from like brand new in the league, ripped everything up in college at LSU, had the time of his life, came in, took the Bengals to the Super Bowl, like did everything right. And now it's like all of a sudden he's not having fun, and he is even the Bengals quarterback of the future. He looked like a surefire. He was like the next coming of Joe Montana over there. Well, not Joe Montana for the that was a tough choice because Montana beat them in the Super Bowl once, but fine, Boomer Esiason, whatever. But they obviously hoped he would take them further than Esiason did, and it's just crazy how fast he's fallen out of favor, or how he's fast and out of favor. Again, words are hard tonight.
Yes.
But like Roger Craig, Roger Craig was on 3 Super Bowl winning teams for the 49ers. So he's got time to turn it around. But yeah, they got to figure out a way to get the offense going. The offense has been fine. They just got to keep him healthy. I think Burrow, if he's engaged and they're winning games, maybe he stays there long term, and he would become a Hall of Famer, you would think, with the talent. But who knows, man? Sports can be a fickle thing, man.
Sure can. And, all it takes is one Super Bowl run. I know you're high on the Bengals. I think we differ a little bit there, but all it does take is one Super Bowl run for Joe Burrow, and that changes a lot. And if you're putting Josh Allen in, or if Bill Barnwell, at least is, he's a lock without a Super Bowl. If Joe Burrow can get one, I think that makes you a lock. We just talked about Eli Manning for a few moments here in this segment. Super Bowl changes a lot of things here. Joe Namath, we talk about names for blast from the past. Joe Namath literally is in from calling his shot for one Super Bowl.
Unreal. Yeah.
Unreal. What can we do? Hey, crazy. We'll keep tabs on the NFL season underway officially. Preseason, of course, the NFL Hall of Fame game nearing its conclusion in the fourth quarter here. 24-20 Carolina over Arizona. If you're keeping tabs at home, whoever you may be at a preseason game in Canton. But here we are. We're rocking and rolling. So much to go over with you. We're going to talk about some college football when we come back. Of course, we have some teams that may do well, some teams that may surprise us, and some teams that may not be good. We'll talk about the landscape of college football, what to expect, not only here in Ohio, as obviously a lot of Ohio State fans, but what we can expect nationwide across NCAA football. We'll talk about all that, and later on, we're going to dive in the comments. Chad is a little frustrated. It's been a week, and you know what? I think it's finally set him off. I think you finally have broken Chad Internet. Congratulations, you did it. Here we are. We have broken Chad. All right. With all that being said, that's Chad B. Of course, to my right, you're right. Everybody's right. I'm Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. We're back talking college football right after this.
Key On Sports is the leader in Ohio high school athletic coverage in written, print, and video streaming. From the latest news and results and written content to the high school football game of the week every Friday, Key On Sports has you covered. The vision of 15-time published author Vince McKee has become the most trusted site in Ohio high school athletic news. From podcasts to player profiles, Key On Sports is your one-stop for all of it. Visit them today at keyonsports.com or on YouTube at Key On Sports. Check out their socials on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at SportsMemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the SportsMemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to SportsMemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. SportsMemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. So guys, awesome show today here on Unfiltered. Great conversation with Jake Underwood. We talked about a lot, including the voting age. 16, is it too young? Jake thinks so. Priorities, right? Problems we're actually dealing with when it comes to being able to afford everyday life. That was a big topic of the conversation, so make sure you guys check that out. Also, talked about a bunch of things involving the chemical incident down at Royal Chemical in Macedonia, a local fire department too, dealing with issues with money, someone stealing it. Crazy to think about first responders getting money taken away from them to be able to do their jobs for you in the community. Tomorrow, it is the final 5 p.m. edition of Unfiltered until we move to 9 p.m. starting next Monday. So stop by and enjoy the ride. Also, of course, we will have not only all your local news, sports, everything breaking, but the reveal of our memes of the week. All that tomorrow, 5 p.m. for the last time here at Unfiltered, all along the Inside Edge Network. I will see you Friday.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan, am I right? You're right. Everybody's right. I'm Eli Moon. We're back in the saddle, on the saddle, saddle adjacent. Talk some NFL Hall of Fame. Of course, the Hall of Fame game taking place, ramping up here, the Panthers and the Cardinals, and the Hall of Fame induction speeches later on this weekend. So much to get into when it comes to that. We'll keep an eye on, of course, all of that, but we have so much more football to talk about here with you when it comes to college football. Yes, college football ramping up here. Just a few weeks away before the first game. And Chad B, my goodness, there's so much to talk about, from the Buckeyes to the Hoosiers to the Rolling Tide, the Crimson Tide. They are rolling. They are crimson. They are tied. They are ready to go out of there in Alabama and all across the nation. So much to get into when it comes to college football. And It leads me to a few questions for you. And I think I'll start with the easier one.
Is it about the elephant?
No.
Okay.
Because I still don't understand. Why is Stanford's cardinal a tree?
Well, it's the cardinal tree. Have you ever seen that thing?
Yeah, I used to play with the mascot in the college football game.
It looks like a junk pile. Like it looks like they've just stuck things to it through the years. Like, here's a sock. Here's like an old pair of underwear. Here's a can of Coke that I drank. Like, things are just sticky. It's wild. Like, I don't know what's going on with that thing, man. Well,
we got the hardest question out of the way. Then we're good to go. Let's talk about some of these teams, man. There's a lot of them, obviously, and there'll be a 12-team playoff. I want to ask you first off. We'll start with an easy one. What team do you expect to kind of stay where they're at, or maybe elevate? Whether it's they were a playoff team last year, they should remain there, or they elevate to where they're a national championship contender or favorite. What team are you feeling the best about right now that maybe didn't get it done last year? Or if it is Indiana that won it, Where are you feeling about these teams that were at the top last year? Who stays in their spot?
I'm going to be a homer and say Ohio State. I mean, there's continuity on offense, right? You've got the quarterback. You've got your number one receiver there. You've got the running game is going to be back for the most part. There's always a little bit of change on the offensive line, but I think that's one area actually where the Buckeyes don't do a great job sometimes. They come out early and the offensive line looks a little bit suspect or whatever. The offense has trouble moving the ball the first couple weeks. Sometimes it doesn't matter who they play, right? They'll have Texas early. They're going to have to obviously be concerned about that. They'll play a bunch of big games this year. They have a really tough schedule. But I think they win enough. I mean, I think 10-2, 11-1 is a realistic expectation for their season. They're going to slip at some point. Somebody's going to get them. You know what I mean? You just have to hope it doesn't happen twice, but it could. I mean, they like I said, the schedule is tough. They have a good schedule this year. I know people say, cupcake schedule, but first of all, the Big Ten is coming close, I think, if they haven't already surpassed the SEC. And I think the argument that you heard Nick Saban say that, well, one national championship team doesn't mean that, it's better than if we've got a bunch of good conference teams 1-8 or 1-9 or whatever. I don't even really think the SEC has that. I think they've got about 2 or 3 contenders as well. And we'll get to the teams that may fall off, but there's a couple of teams in that SEC that I don't think are going to be as good as people say they're going to be. We'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be Ohio State. I think they'll stay right about where they were last year, if not take another step forward. I think they can be a national title contender. Again, just one more year with Julian Sayin at quarterback. I mean, he broke the all-time, completion percentage mark for a season in college football. So he clearly sees the game well. Just one more year in that offense isn't going to hurt him.
No, I agree with that. You know what? I think there's a good chance there's a Big Ten national championship game this year. A team I'm very high on. We've talked about it off air. I've even mentioned them a little bit in terms of the quarterback they have there. I believe the Oregon Ducks are going to make a big jump this year. Again, they were a team that was making some noise in the playoffs. Obviously, got bounced. They weren't able to stick around too long. But that's a team that is returning Dante Moore, the guy that was supposed to be the second quarterback off the board, if not the first. There was arguments at a time. I know it was going to be Mendoza, but there were arguments of Moore being in that discussion for the number 1 quarterback in the draft. He was going to be one of the first 2 off the board for sure, and instead he returns to the Oregon Ducks. It shocked a lot of people during the draft process when he announced that he was going to stay, and they come back. Now, Dan Lanning, who has absolutely changed the landscape in Oregon, and you have Dante Moore, a guy that was, again, in Heisman discussion, draft discussion. I believe he is the favorite. I know Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State, obviously catching a lot of attention. I think he's going to have a fantastic year. But I think Dante Moore, in my opinion, is the favorite to win the Heisman. I've got into debates about Arch Manning versus Dante Moore, and I just don't think it's really much of a discussion because Dante Moore has won games for his team that they shouldn't have won. They have went out and said, Dante Moore, go get us a big drive, go get us a touchdown. He has done it. Arch Manning hasn't really done that, so I got to see some out of him. And we'll talk about, of course, teams. We'll stay away from that for a moment because we'll talk about them in a second. But I believe Oregon's going to make a big jump. I think their floor is a top 4 team, a semifinalist in the college football playoff.
Floor is a top 4 team. Okay.
Yes, their floor. I think they have a very powerful offense. Dan Lanning loves coaching, obviously, the defensive side of the ball, too, making them gritty, tough. I think that's going to really stand out. And, of course, their schedule's not super tough either. Of course, you have Ohio State. You have Michigan. And you have, I know you're a little bit higher on Nebraska than I am, but you have some of these teams that may be a little bit tougher. But besides that, there's not much that stands out to me. If USC kind of just stays ho-hum, then you're really looking at a team in Oregon that may only lose 1-2 games this year at most. I mean, of course, the Ohio State game stands out to me the most. It's a game where they're going to be in Columbus. That's going to be a measuring stick game because that's literally November 7th. That's about a month or so away before the college football playoff. But I think Oregon's the team that I'm expecting to make a big jump. Again, floor, Final Four team. Ceiling, of course, is they're hoisting the college football playoff championship at the beginning of next year.
See, I don't know, man. I feel like Oregon may struggle a little bit through 2 new coordinators. Dan Lanning's there. He's gonna stabilize things. He's a great coach. You saw him. He took advantage of the loophole against Ohio State. And everybody was really mad, but I mean, hey, if it exists, he didn't do anything wrong, right?
Right.
And was like, it's proof that he cheated because they closed the loop. No, I just didn't have eyes on it until he exposed it. That's not cheating. That's just taking advantage of the rules. But I thought that was really smart. And when you get things like that from a head coach, those can be a huge advantage, right? Because a lot of these teams are very, very even in one way or another. It's literally a game of inches, right? If you can pull something like that off and make that work for you, then obviously it helped win them that game. So, you expect to see some things like that out of Dan Lanning, but just the 2 new coordinators. I think they may struggle a little bit on the offensive side of the ball, getting things together. I don't know that anybody's going to come in and change anything up that Oregon's. It's like, well, let's go run heavy. Let's go wishbone. We're not going to do that, but no, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe organizational things. We'll see how it goes. Maybe they'll turn it around right away and I'll be wrong. But I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Oregon lose 3 games, to be honest with you. I know they're a great team on paper, but it feels like one of those years for Oregon. I could be totally wrong.
I get it. Now, the thing to keep in mind, too, is their quarterback depth. Dylan Raiola, I know he gets called Mini Mahomes because he tries to be like Mahomes, but he is in Oregon now. He's transferred from Nebraska. Of course, he transferred before Dante Moore said, I'm coming back to school, so he thought he was going to be the starter, but I don't think there's a deeper quarterback room in terms of depth than Oregon right now. That's kind of where I stand, too, in terms of pro-ready guys. If they both declared at the end of the year, they both would get taken in the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft, in my opinion. But we'll keep an eye on it. And, of course, we'll keep an eye on some of these teams that may fall off, Chad B. Teams that maybe were playoff teams or at least in the hunt and didn't get into that 12-team playoff. But a team that to you stands out, goes, it's just not going to be your year, buddy. You're going to have some really long Saturdays, and you're going to be sat on that couch. Who's that for you?
For me, it's Alabama right now. I don't know that they don't retool the way they did under Nick Saban anymore. They don't do that. If anything, they've come out the past couple of years and looked very suspect the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season. And I think, Kellen DeBoer's turned it around, right? He's gotten things going in the right direction, but they lost 15 starters from that team last year. I think 10 of them to the draft.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them get off to a 1-2 start. Well, maybe not a 1-2 start, but there's a point in their season where I think they could lose. I don't have the schedule up in front of me. I looked at it earlier, and I don't remember. I've been looking at so many college football schedules all day.
Yes.
But I remember thinking like they could really lose 2 or 3 games here, or maybe even 3 of 5. And at that point, they would be sitting at like 3-3. You know what I mean? They're 4-3, 3-3. At that point, you're not getting in the playoffs. We talked about we may see a 3-loss team, get into the playoffs soon, maybe this year. It's not. I don't think that's going to be the way to do it. I don't think again, because they're the SEC. It's still the SEC. There's still some really good football teams there. You've got Ole Miss. You've got LSU, which I also think LSU could be a team that maybe isn't as good as people think they're going to be. I know we talk about Lane Kiffin. He's like the miracle worker, but for all the people that he took from Ole Miss to LSU, and all the people that he's getting sued for, which is crazy. The transfer portal, we can't sue these kids for that. But yeah, for all the kids that he took to LSU, he doesn't have, there's no quarterback, right? You don't have what's his name? Ole Miss's quarterback. I'm blanking on his name.
Trinidad Chambliss.
Trinidad Chambliss. Yeah, Trinidad Chambliss. Yeah, you don't have Trinidad Chambliss. You don't have Kawan Lacey. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I just think they're going to struggle this year. It's like, okay, Lane Kiffin's there. It's LSU. They're a powerhouse. They're going 11-1. They're gonna compete for a national championship. Wouldn't be surprised to see LSU finish 7-5. Really.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked either. I think mine is going to shock you maybe a little bit, and it's the Miami Hurricanes.
Okay.
A team that was in the national championship last year. A team that everybody thought they returned to the U, and of course they've lived off that transfer portal. Cam Ward, now number 1 overall pick. Carson Beck just played in the Hall of Fame game tonight. Of course, a later on pick, but a guy who's going to be trying to become the future of the Arizona Cardinals. And now Darian Mensah. And if you're familiar with Darian Mensah, it's because he played at Duke and all the stuff going on with Duke. When he did the transfer portal and he switched over and all that discussion, he is now a Miami Hurricane. And I just don't buy the hype. I've said that before. We've talked about Darian Mensah and where some of these quarterback tiers are for college football. We went over that a few weeks ago, actually. And I didn't believe Darian Mensah is the best quarterback or a top 4 quarterback in college football right now. I know he played well at Duke. Let's also factor in the ACC is not what the ACC used to be. Yeah. And Duke, of course, at times weren't necessarily standoutish. Yes, they were a discussion. They were the ACC champion. I get it. But they were an afterthought when it came to 12-team playoff. These type of discussions we're having right now, I don't think he's going to be able to hang with a Miami Hurricane schedule. I just don't see it. Of course, he stays in the same mix, but you're going up against these out-of-conference teams that I don't think he's going to be able to have success against. Okay. Of course, you look here, you have Stanford, you have Clemson. I know Clemson's not what it used to be in Florida State, but some of these games that stand out to me, I don't know, man. I think North Carolina is going to be a lot better than people think. I didn't pick them to be a surprise or anything, but I think they're going to be better than what people are giving them to be. Yeah. If you think Bill Belichick's going to have 2 bad years in a row, it's never happened. I mean, it's never been 2 catastrophic years. It's never in his college in his NFL career. So I don't buy that's going to happen in college. There's some teams that I just don't know how he's going to fare. Darian Mensah. And there's a lot of expectation with him too, right? You are following in the footsteps of Cam Ward, who went there and had a lot of success. You're going with Carson Beck, who literally took him to the national championship game. How are you going to fare? And I just think there's going to be a little bit of a drop-off. I know Mario Cristobal, and they've injected a ton of life in Miami. I think we're going to see a down year for the Miami Hurricanes. I would not be shocked if they missed the 12-team playoff.
Yeah, I mean, they're at number 7 right now. And there's some teams, if you look at the coaches poll, this first preseason coaches poll, which is, it might as well be a Harry Potter novel. I mean, it's fiction, right? Like, you don't know what's going to happen. It's crazy. But I look at like Oklahoma. Okay, they'll be okay. Alabama at number 11. Like I said, I think Alabama could fall off. LSU at number 13. That puts them on the doorstep of the playoffs, right to start the season. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them finish 7-5. I'm not sure where Clemson is number 23. Wouldn't be surprised to see Clemson have another 500 season. I think Florida State, you mentioned Florida State. I think Florida State's going to be better. Not a playoff contender, but I think the 7-8 wins is realistic. I think they can. Well, they really bottomed out. I don't know what happened to Florida State, but a couple years, something happened there. But I think they'll be a little bit better. I'm looking at this. They've got Penn State at number 17, and we haven't talked about who. Okay. We got to get into our surprise teams. Did you want to talk? Do you have a surprise team?
I sure do. But before I do, real quick, one thing to keep an eye on as well with Miami is November 7th and 14th. They play Notre Dame and then Duke. So the team that literally is one of their biggest thorns in their side in terms of last year missing the playoffs was Notre Dame missing the playoffs, and then Duke, the return for Darian Mensah.
Is that a trap game for them?
That's what I'm saying. Back to back, that's where you could see those two losses. So keep an eye there. Surprise team, though. I will get into it. And I think you kind of took it from me, buddy, when you mentioned who was there at number 19. Okay. Penn State, man. It's Penn State. They have rid themselves of James Franklin. Of course, he had some success, except for when it was a big game. Just don't tell James Franklin it's a big game and he'll win it. But now
do not show him the number by the other. Just don't show that. If it's a small little number, don't tell Frank. Do not do it.
Exactly. And it's interesting. Matt Campbell, of course, comes over from Iowa State, had a ton of success at Iowa State. Yeah. And I know they weren't like a top 10 team necessarily, but to get Iowa State relevant, same thing we talk about with Deion Sanders at Colorado. He's made them where they are relevant. They are discussed on College Game Day. They're talked about on Saturday afternoons. That's what you want to see out of a fan base, or excuse me, not franchise, but a college, a school, right? A team that wasn't really in that discussion before. I think Matt Campbell's going to have Penn State rolling on all cylinders. I'm curious to see what they look like. I don't think there's necessarily a ton of standout guys. Of course, they lost Drew Aller. I know he was injured as well, but they have a little bit of a mix-up, but it's a fresh look. And I think the big thing for Penn State is just going to be the leadership. Matt Campbell's done more with less. I think he's going to do a lot more with a Penn State team that gets those recruits in. I know they're not Ohio State recruits. I know they're not Michigan recruits or Indiana now.
No, but he's got 4 and 5-star guys on that roster. And Eli, he's brought a ton of guys from Iowa State as well. So there's some familiarity. You've got you infuse that with some 4 and 5-star guys that are still there. He's got Rocco Becht, who is the 3-year starter at quarterback. Right. This is going to be his 4th year, and that goes a long way. He hasn't been spectacular, but he was pretty good at Iowa State. And I think if you look at Penn State, I think they don't play Oregon, they don't play Ohio State, they don't play Indiana. So this looks like a team that could surprise you and maybe win 9-10 games.
Yeah. I'm assuming we're on the same page then with our surprise team.
Maybe you might be a little surprised at my other surprise team. I have another one. Do you have a second or no?
No, I'm going right over to you. That was my only surprise team because I think it's still a little early. Like again, if we revisit in a week, there may be one more that stands out to me. But I think it's going to be, for the most part, the heavy hitters are going to bring the pain. Indiana's still going to be there. I don't think Indiana drops off, and I think Penn State makes a lot of noise. We talk about a team dropping off in Miami. I think Penn State could make that type of run and be that surprise team that Miami was last year in the playoff. But who's your other surprise team, man?
Okay. So you're going to be you might be shocked. This team has plenty of talent. They underachieved last year. They were 3-9. They, in an unprecedented move, this has never happened in college football, they have their ex-head coach, who was fired last year, 3 games into the season, is now their defensive coordinator. So there's familiarity there. James Franklin came into Virginia Tech, rehired Brent Pry as the defensive coordinator. Listen, Franklin wins games, right? I think the ACC is like, that's his wheelhouse. James Franklin is 6 to 8 wins waiting to happen. And if a couple of things bounce their way, this team could win 10 games. They have a ton of talent. They really, really underachieved under Pry. I don't know if I don't think it's necessarily because he's a bad coach. I just think sometimes you find out a lot about yourself when you go from running the defense to now running a 125-man roster, right? There's a lot of extra responsibility there. And I think getting Pry back, just, to have him work with the defense and getting James Franklin in there, who, like I said, is, as a coach, he's 6 to 8 games. Just don't tell him about the other teams. If they're ranked pretty high, don't tell him that. But I think the ACC is kind of his wheelhouse. I think this is where he can win a lot of games. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Virginia Tech be 9-3, 10-2, and on the doorstep of maybe being a dark horse playoff team, man. Wouldn't that be wild if Penn State and Virginia Tech made the playoffs next year?
Well, let me ask you this. Who has a better year next year? I'll leave. This is my last question for you. We got to get to break here in a second. We're going to talk, of course, a ton of college football. We are in the swing of things now. Yeah. But who has a better year next year, this upcoming season? Virginia Tech or North Carolina?
Wow. I mean, the safe bet is probably North Carolina. But Virginia Tech, it's one of those things we talk about with the Bengals, right? With health, it could be fantastic. The Bengals could be 12-5. If Virginia Tech can stay healthy and Franklin gets them on the right track, they could be 10-2. If things bottom out early and they lose to like VMI or something, they're probably going to go 3-9 again. It depends on how they get the momentum rolling early on in the season.
And I'm curious to see. Absolutely. I'm curious to see how the defensive coordinator thing obviously works out for them too. Just like how the chemistry is. So I'm curious to see how that unfolds. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get into all that, of course, when it comes to the college football landscape, getting into August, getting into September, all that fun jazz. We are excited to get into it with you. And of course, Chad and I started the show back in January, Inside Edge Primetime. And now we get our first full college football season together. So we get to break down all the action all season long. Can't wait. Cannot wait. All right. We're going to go to break here for a moment. And when we come back, Chad's going to take a few deep breaths during the break. When we come back, we're going to go in the comments. Usually there's a lot of fun. Maybe fun.
We got to fix the education system.
Yeah. We'll just leave it at that. It could get a little ugly in the comments tonight, but you're going to rock with us regardless. We appreciate you for doing so, of course. And that's Chad B to my right. You're right. Everybody's right. I'm Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Grab your drinks, grab your caffeine, grab whatever you need. We're going in the comments when we come back.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick.
With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh.
I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
So the stunning thing about the QB tiers list, the one produced by The Athletic, NFL executives, head coaches, general managers voted on, It's not that Shedeur Sanders was ranked last. I mean, that part is very odd, but that's not it. It's not even that Deshaun Watson, for the most part, was considered a tier 4 quarterback. But there was an NFL head coach, unnamed NFL head coach, current NFL head coach, who considered Deshaun Watson right now to be a tier 2 NFL starting quarterback. Yeah, I'm about as stunned as you are right now. We're talking like the same level as like Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert, Drake May. Yeah, there's a head coach out there who believes, and his name is not Todd Monken. There's a head coach out there who believes that Deshaun Watson is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. We tried to break that down last night on Midnight Run. We really got into it, myself and Eli. But coming up tonight, who do you blame for ruining baseball? What if I told you the answer is not the Los Angeles Dodgers? We'll get into that. And what if I also told you that there's only one team that can prevent the lockout from extending and missing games in 2027? What if I told you that team was the Cleveland Guardians? Wait, what? Yeah, we got a lot to break down. Plus, our network, Inside Edge Network QB tiers list. We'll get into all that. We are busy. We're locked and loaded. Tonight at midnight, on Midnight Run, right here on the Inside Edge Network.
All right, folks, no time to waste. Music will play in, but we are back here on Inside Edge Primetime. We talked about the NFL Hall of Fame class 2026. Crazy, a lot of great names there, and yeah, not too many snubs here. I guess I'm shocked that maybe no Eli Manning, but maybe that's an Eli thing. We'll talk about that later on. Of course, talk about college football as well. And I don't know how else to prepare you all, but Chad is about to go scorched earth. I'm about to hand it off to him when we get here back. The faces back to us. You see him right there. We look amazing. Thank you so much for keeping that up there for just a moment. Of course, Chad Bryan, am I right? You're right. Everybody's right. I'm Eli Moon. We are back in the saddle, on the saddle, saddle adjacent. All right, Chad B. We are limited on time. I know you got a lot of thoughts. Yes. They know what they came here for. Let's get in the comments.
All right, I'm going to do this auctioneer style because we got to go fast. Hold on. Is the stream deck going to work? We don't know. I'm going to start the music. We might not be able to stop it. We don't know, but we're going in the comments.
That's
right. So there's an article that it may just play right through the Daily Spiral. We don't know. And Autumn loves this song, so it'll be great. I was waiting for her reaction. She just said no. Okay. Anyway, an article came out earlier this week. They scientists, planetary scientists, whoever did this, they used a telescope that's in Maui to zoom in to a certain area of the sun that has a very, very high level of magnetic activity, right?
Okay.
So they zoomed way, way, way in, and they found something kind of shocking. They found swirls of whatever plasma, basically, that may explain why a lot of the sun's heat doesn't exist at its core, but it exists in the outer. Anyway, that's all science. It's fine. And you may not understand exactly what's going on with the sun, but I've got some comments here because there are people that just don't believe in space, Eli. And I think it's a problem with the education system. So I started reading the comments and I thought, this is groundbreaking that we've got this brand new look at the sun. Let's see what people think. So let's go in the comments.
Okay.
Here's one that I found interesting. In a shocking revelation, it looks like, wait for it, fire. Because the sun's just on fire, right?
Yeah. I mean,
no, it's not on fire. No, it's
okay,
a continual thermonuclear reaction. It's the constant fusion of hydrogen into helium. There's no oxygen in space. It can't be on fire. But that's okay. Again, right. It was the sarcastic tone that we just know the sun's fire. There's no science here. Okay, anyway, we're gonna move on. This is seriously burning fire. There's a picture, so you gotta understand. This person says this is seriously burning fire. Very dangerous. Okay, again, the sun is not on fire. But if it were, it's not that dangerous. It's about 93 million miles away from us. So not that dangerous. We're going to be okay. This was a telescope on the island of Maui. Go ahead.
Sun not on fire. Not on fire. Okay,
all
right. All right.
So other things that the sun may or not be as we come back. Here we go. This person says haters won't believe it, but that's Earth 1, and we destroyed it just like we're doing to this one.
That's what happened.
Yeah, we apparently messed up a planet so damn bad that we turned it into a star. I don't know what we did, but I don't know. Apparently someone dropped a really, really big nuclear bomb on Earth 1, and now it's just a constant nuclear bomb going off, and whatever. That's fine.
Dude. So we're Earth number 2 because we're the...
Well, we may be Earth number 3 because a lot of people think that Venus was a failed... Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Oh, my goodness.
It doesn't, trust me. It gets worse.
Okay.
It gets worse. This is just AI-generated images. How many meters was the camera away from the sun?
I mean, valid question.
Yeah, well, listen, if you can convert... I don't know the math, but if you convert 93 million miles into meters, that's about how many meters. It's not like someone flew up there and was like, let me take this... smile. You know, it took a little, like, click. Oh, I forgot to turn the flash on. Hold on. Let me... One more. You know what I mean? Like, okay, now up and down, one for social media. Right? Like, that's not what happened at all. That's not what. It's not a camera. It's a telescope.
Where's the Polaroids at? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, you got to shake it. Listen, it gets worse. It gets worse from here. Look at this one. Look at this one. Another pic sent by NASA. The sun had fur everywhere, and it looks totally different from this. This world we are being fed. That's not even AI. That's I don't. What? We have a furry sun somewhere. Someone. Is that?
Is this like the furry conventions where everybody dresses up as furries and somebody's a sun furry?
I hope not. I hope not. Or maybe I should say, I don't know. I don't think this.
Well, listen, Chad. I mean, this is
what,
dude. This is another pic sent by NASA. The sun had fur everywhere. Clearly.
Well, yeah. Well, it's not furry, and I can prove it because this person just said human. I don't know what that means. The sun is human. I have no idea.
Sons have feelings too, not just daughters. Sons as well.
Yeah, it's also you got to pay attention to your son. This one, we've got 2 more. This is one of my favorites. Ready for this one?
Yeah.
The sun is white, bro. I swear, Eli, white people will try to take credit for anything.
I'm so sick of that shit.
What? What? The sun is white. Actually, that's actually correct. The sun actually is a white star.
Well, tell that to the other guy, Chad. Listen, I'm sorry to interrupt, but listen, tell that to the other guy because the sun was fur everywhere.
The sun was fur, and what was the sack of bones thing? We need to bring that comment back from a couple weeks ago. That was about. And this is probably my favorite one. This is so eloquently put that I couldn't. Sometimes I want to comment and I want to argue with these people, but this next one, Eli, it's so eloquently typed and written that I just couldn't even I was like, well, they've got a point. This person just said, I
mean, Chad.
The whole article.
I mean, how can you argue that?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, the sun is
white, bro.
That's it.
And they had fur everywhere. And hopefully you're not everywhere. Hopefully there are no furry sons out there. And nah. Dude, I mean, my goodness, Chad B. I can understand why you were frustrated. That's a lot going on.
Fix the education system. People, have you never a science book like this stuff is? I mean, this is easy. You could Google this stuff, man. Like, it's
well, science books don't exist anymore. ChatGPT. That's where they're learning nowadays.
Do your own research, right? And their research is like a YouTube channel with 19 followers. It's like sun is furry and white. Well, if you need, your breakdown for real, you just check in Inside Edge Primetime. We'll get you hip on space. We love space. My name is literal moon. So I mean, what can you do? What can you do? Unpack there, yeah.
A lot to unpack, buddy. But you did a great job. I know you stayed calm and collected. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah,
I'm very proud of you for that. And you know what? Look, the sun is white, bro, but our names are red, bro, which means we don't have the rent. We're in trouble. And we got to get out of here. Well, you got to get out of here. I
feel like LL with the red sun. I'm excited. Yeah, maybe I have superpowers when I come back to my own.
Dude, I'll tell you. Wait, another great job as always, Chad B, if I do say so myself. I hope all you out there enjoyed as well. We're not done. We have 2 more hours of programming for you. But that is the end of Inside Edge Primetime. Chad B and I We'll be rocking Monday. We have some very exciting stuff for you. Stay tuned for Friday. We have some news coming up for Friday. But Monday, for sure, we have some exciting news. You heard Kyle Cornell mention about 9 p.m. We're not going anywhere, but we'll announce here, since this is prime time, that we'll be going from 10 p.m. to 11:30. So we'll have an extra half hour with all of you in the evenings. A lot of great stuff. But of course, that's Chad B to my right. You're right. Everybody's right. I'm Eli Moon. This has been Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad is going to go argue with some space people on Facebook, and we'll
just
try
stay
to
out of it, man. I screenshot it and I bring it here now. That's what I do. This is my outlet. This is like therapy for me. It's fine.
Good. Well, you know what? In the comments, but now on the screen. Here we go. All right, that's Chad B, of course. I'm Eli Moon. I'm going to be back with you in just a moment for the Daily Spiral with Autumn Chisholm. At the top of the hour, we're going to talk a lot about a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to spoil it all. I'll tell you here in a moment. Station identification, one of the coolest intros in all of mankind. And we're back right after this.
No.
Oh, hey, Eli.
Hey, Autumn, how are you doing? It's almost like your intro was playing, and this is your time to shine.
Sometimes I think my intro lasts a little bit longer than what it does. Also, I've had no sleep for the last week, so I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what day it is. I didn't know it was Thursday today. But welcome to the Daily Spiral. It's been a day, Eli. It's been a day.
Oh, yeah. No, I understand. We talk about no sleep. I think I've been living on no sleep since December. So I get it. I completely get it. But yeah, no, it is Thursday. It's almost the end of the week, and we got a lot to get into. I'm excited. I'm rocking and rolling as much as I can, with caffeine and, just living the life.
Yes. Eli, I want to start us off on a good note. I'm going to play a video that I found today. And I'm gonna play it if it lets me play it. If it lets me play it.
Okay.
I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
If my computer doesn't act like a dick. My computer's acting like a dick. Let me see if I can do one thing. Can I do this? No, it wouldn't let me. But there is a video. Oh my God, it's letting me. There's a video that I cannot stop watching.
Mm.
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
And this wave pattern, again, it looks like you went and got a blowjob at your blowout at your salon. Oh my God. And it looks beautiful.
All right, so here's what's happening today. We're having a huge beauty sale. Everything ships to you for free, but that goes away at the end of the day. I will remind you that this is a one-time only price, where the price goes up at the end of the show, not the end of the day. So we're going to save you.
Hey, look, Granny just wanted to get some, all right? That's all. I mean, look. I don't know what to tell you, Autumn. Look, some people's heads aren't in the right spot, or I guess it depends on who you ask. But I mean,
I understood what she was saying. I got it. I understood it. I just think that's representative of how I'm feeling today. I'm like, I definitely didn't mean this. She said blowjob.
She started laughing too.
Yes,
she knew what it was.
She just went down because she made me like, she said blowjob. Oh, Eli, We have a couple topics to choose from. I'm sorry. That video makes me laugh all the time.
Did I ever tell you about the time when I had my eyebrows waxed?
Why would you get your eyebrows waxed?
It wasn't intentional. I don't know. We got a lot to get into. I'll be very quickly here about it. It'll be 2 minutes or less, 2-minute drill. Essentially, I went to the salon with my ex, my girlfriend at the time. She wanted to get her nails done. I paid for it. I'm a good boyfriend when there's decent human beings out there, and well, whatever. All right. So I'm with my ex and we're rocking and rolling, and she wanted to get her nails done, her hands done, whatever, the nails, the color, the dazzle, whatever the hell you ladies do. And you know what? You do your thing. But I went there as emotional support. And then I wanted to see about a pedicure. Cause I'm like, I don't necessarily want like obviously the coloring or anything like that. I'm cool. Like, they even had to convince me on the gloss. They're like, do you want just a gloss here? I'm like, no, hell no. And they're like, no, it'll look. So I let them gloss the toes, whatever. And I did my thing. Before that, however, they're like, oh, come on and sit down in this chair. Now I'm a newbie to the salon. So I sat down in the chair. And the lady, leans me back and she starts putting this hot goo on my face. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Excuse my language here at 11 o'clock at night, but that's what was going through my mind. And I'm like, no, this has got to be the weirdest pedicure setup ever. Why are they attacking my face? So then she's like, boom to the side. I'm like, all right, that's getting a little too close. And then in between here, and I'm like, this is getting odd. And all of a sudden, I felt like tape or something go to my face. And I felt, and I was like, what in the hell just happened? And I'm like crying a little bit because it's like, how do you do this? And she goes, just sit still, almost done. And she's like ripping through. And I just remember the other lady who was doing my girlfriend at the time's nails. She goes, no, feet, not eyebrows. And I go, oh my goodness, I'm getting wrecked. And she goes, oh, and she started laughing. She goes, you still pay? I mean, what am I going to do, Autumn? I got to pay for the service. I mean, she did the service. I'm an honest man. She did the service. We got ready. I got a pedicure and eyebrows done that day. But I'm not going to lie. Pain is beauty, or beauty is pain, whatever you want to say. And I looked at myself in the mirror after that. I was like, damn, I might start doing this. I haven't since, but I'm not going to lie. If you're a dude out there and you never got your eyebrows done, do it once. It hurts like hell, but you may look at yourself like, all right, I look a little fresh. Now I feel like Tom Brady when he's in his like GQ magazines and stuff. I felt good for a moment, but it hurt. It was unexpected. I felt embarrassed for a moment because I'm in there and my legs were probably kicking up because the pain.
It's okay. Eli, it's all right. As someone that has a cosmetology license, every time we had to do waxes on people, I just literally was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to hurt you. This is not fun for anyone.
I mean, and then people do the full body wax. Hell no.
No.
Nope.
No. Eli, we have 3 topics.
Okay.
No, 4. 4 topics. 4. Where do you want to start? Do you want me to explain the art of the PR relationship? Because sports, some of us are in PR relationships with quarterbacks.
Okay.
And basketball players.
Okay.
Or do we want to talk about the new Nightmare Fuel trailer for the movie Primetime?
Which, I mean, how dare they not run past a movie name before they talk to Inside Edge Network? We have Inside Edge Primetime. That is the only Primetime I know, but that trailer, you told me to watch it, of course, before the show, get ready, and Autumn, I'm not going to lie, that is Nightmare Fuel. I mean, the thing, like the base, let's dive there. If that's okay with you, I like to dive there because I have a few thoughts. It's like, obviously the basis of like the trailer and the movie is over something that's needed to happen in terms of what Chris Hansen has done and how he is absolutely stopping these monsters, for lack of a better word. They are monsters out here and he's catching these people. But the trailer, I'm going to be honest, Autumn, like a movie that really, for a different reason, but like traumatized me. I can't really watch it back, but it's ironically enough one of my favorite movies is The Joker with with Joaquin Phoenix. I love that movie, but I can't watch it back because of how strong it is on mental health and stuff and all of that. It just kind of tears me up. And this movie, again, is so powerful. It is showing how we've got the Chris Hansen and what he's doing, which is great work, stopping predators, stopping monsters. But it's one of those movies, I might watch it just to see it how it unfolds, but it's just, I'm not going to lie. I love good people, and seeing this type of monstrous behavior, even though it's a movie, it just like it's disgusting. I watched that trailer and I was like, okay, I need to go take a shower. And I just showered. I'm like, why are there people out there that are so sick and sadistic? And the whole trailer gave me anxiety just watching, like, there's just monsters out here and I can't deal with it.
Yeah. Okay. So Primetime, the 2026 film. I will bring up the movie poster. We cannot play the trailer because
we'll be off the air.
Hold on. Let me remove this.
Actually, just give that one a spin again one more time, Autumn. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And this wave pattern, again, it looks like you got a blowjob at your blowout.
Blow out.
Blowjob.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it looks beautiful.
All right, so here's what's happening today.
She had no idea what she was doing.
Sale.
She had
Everything
absolutely.
ships to you for free, but that goes away at the end of the day. I will remind you that this is a one-time only price, where the price goes up at the end of the show, not the end of the day.
She's so happy. She's so happy. Okay. So from something like innocent and funny to like, oh my goodness. Here we go.
Okay, yeah. So this is Primetime. It's starring Robert Pattinson. It is directed by Lance Oppenheim. It is based on Tonight on Deadline, This Man Will Die, which is a article about a man who was caught on To Catch a Predator, was a DA, and killed himself. And essentially that case is what got To Catch a Predator canceled.
Right.
So this is sort of like I would say like a fictionalized retelling. So Robert Pattinson is Chris Hansen. Merritt Weaver, who's a fantastic actress, is his producer. Skylar Gizmo, who was Jimmy Olsen in Superman, plays an aspiring actor who plays like the decoy. And then there's a whole host of people. And then Anna Faris plays Chris Hansen's wife. And then they also got Jeff Zucker to play himself.
Okay.
Oh, and also I'm looking at this Jonathan Lipnicki of Like Mike and Jerry Maguire and Stuart Little fame is also in this movie. So this crazy cast. But again, a weird modern retelling of what happened on To Catch a Predator. Now, I'm going to tell you this, Eli. Chris Hansen is still out here doing it.
Right.
He actually has his own YouTube channel. He goes to all over the country, and he still does stings. He still does operations. He still works with governments to do... It's more like it's not just him. He simultaneously works with him. So with To Catch a Predator, it was just him, and then maybe he would call like a couple police officers, right? This is fully like he's just looking at the people,
right?
So he's still doing it. He's still out here doing it. And some of the I missed something. My coworkers and I, for a very long time, we would watch the videos on our lunch break. I have only seen one case on there that made me audibly like want to get up and walk away and go take a shower.
Yeah.
Some of them were stupid. Like you kind of knew. Some of them, like as soon as they walked in, they knew. But it was only a couple of them to where I literally had to say, like, I gotta go take a shower because it was just that bad.
I mean, are you gonna watch this question? Are you gonna watch this movie? You're obviously okay. Because I'm not gonna lie, I know you go to the movies by yourself. This might have to be like an Inside Edge Network night show type of like all of us go, because I get so disgusted with obviously like the basis of this movie in terms of, again, the monsters and stuff, and it's like these people. And Autumn, I can't do scary movies that are fictional. The fact that this is like this actually happened, and there are still people running amok that are whatever in positions of power, your everyday, person, whatever. It's just disgusting. You told me before in the past, you're like, hey, watch the movies by yourself. You'll never go back. I'm telling you, this is not the movie I will start.
This is not the movie you should go see by yourself. So I also just looked up who is producing this movie, and this is how I know this is going to be a crazy movie. Ari Aster, famed horror director, one of the best horror directors. He has directed Heredity and Midsummer, and then famously he has directed a short film that I will never watch. I've only seen clips of, but I will never watch because every single person on the internet that has watched it said, do not watch this. You will never go back. It is called The Strange Thing About the Johnsons. Don't look it up and don't go watch it. Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Okay. I listened to you on the entertainment side. Like you've never steered me wrong, except for your opinions on certain Love Island contestants. But besides that, you've never steered me wrong. So I'll listen.
No, but yes, Primetime, based on literally a real thing that happened that got To Catch a Predator canceled. And To Catch a Predator was one of the most popular TV shows. And then people, I think NBC started doing reruns when Twitter became popular. So Twitter started reacting to it. Mm-hmm. And so I'm very curious to see what's going on. But when we come back from the break, we will talk about some more entertainment news. We'll get into PR relationships later because sports and PR and relationships and PR relationships are very important to the sports landscape and other landscapes. But we'll talk about some casting news that came out about a certain franchise that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited too. I'm excited.
All right, we'll be back here on Inside Edge Network. Give us a few.
Key On Sports is the leader in Ohio high school athletic coverage in written, print, and video streaming. From the latest news and results and written content to the high school football game of the week every Friday, Key On Sports has you covered. The vision of 15-time published author Vince McKee has become the most trusted site in Ohio high school athletic news. From podcasts to player profiles, Key On Sports is your one-stop for all of it. Visit them today at keyonsports.com or on YouTube at Key On Sports. Check out their socials on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at SportsMemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the SportsMemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to SportsMemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. SportsMemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com.
Well, Side Hustle Podcast is ready to go. And Kyle, we talked SummerSlam.
We did, and we're going to have the results this coming Friday morning. A nice little 4 to 5 days to really, marinate with what the fuck happened over the weekend when it came to SummerSlam. I mean, did Seth and Roman hold weight? Was it a true grand finale to that feud that's over a decade plus in the making? Is CM Punk still champion? Did Nick Aldis show up and show out, and his one chance turned into a golden opportunity? There's going to be so many questions that need to be answered. Plus, Evander had some interesting things that we were going to talk about too when it comes to just overall lists and things. We haven't done lists in a long time on this program. I think it's been months and months and months. So we'll throw one of those at your guys' way too this coming up.
Yeah, we cannot wait. The Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast, only here on the Inside Edge Network.
Welcome back to Spiral here on InsideEdge Network. I don't know what I was going to say to start because I was about to say something that wasn't the Daily Spiral. Have you ever done that, Eli, where you're like, I know what I should say. I know I should say the name of my show, but in fact, I'm going to say something else, but somehow my brain fixes it and is like Daily Spiral.
Oh yeah, I had that happen earlier tonight. I literally said, shout out to all our, partners, which of course we appreciate all our partners of the Inside Edge Network. And then I usually do this on Primetime. I go and go ahead and go to the merchandise store, and I tell them to check out the merchandise store on the website. And I said, go ahead and check out the marketing. And I said, that wasn't the word I was looking for. We already said marketing. So, yeah, I've been there before, Autumn. But I'll tell you, the good news is we are rocking and rolling. It's Thursday. We got a lot of good stuff coming up the next few weeks. You're on vacation next week. You get a little bit of a R&R, and we'll get you back in with a whole new look. I'll let you talk about that later on, of course. But Kyle already broke the news about the 9 o'clock hour earlier today for next Monday. And Chad and I said about 10 to 11:30. So I know you'll probably wait till later on in the show, but we'll share some news about the Daily Spiral later on. It's not going anywhere, folks. Don't freak out. Don't freak out.
You're going to still see my beautiful face. But let's talk about some movie news. Now, as we all know, I went to go see Spider-Man this weekend. We had an X-Men character in Spider-Man. I'm sorry, spoiler alert. If you somehow, some way have not still seen Spider-Man, it's been out for a week now at this point. We know that Jean Grey will be played by one Miss Sadie Sink of Stranger Things fame. She is now in the MCU as Jean Grey, which means the X-Men are now crossing over to the MCU. If you do not know, Eli, do you want me to explain how and why the X-Men have not been in the MCU? Because it's really stupid and convoluted.
Wasn't it just like a rights issue? Like in terms of like who owned the rights of the X-Men as opposed to like who owned the rest of like Marvel, the U, and everything like that?
Yeah. So in 1996, Marvel went super broke. First, now mind you, they had just finally overtaken DC as number one comic sellers. And then 1996, they went broke. Had to file for bankruptcy, right?
Yeah.
But they still wanted to keep making content, right? They still wanted to keep making cartoons. They wanted to make live action movies. And DC, they had a lovely deal with Warner Brothers, so they could do whatever they want. They could be bankrolled how much ever they wanted. And why do you think we got 50 million Batman movies out here? Okay?
Yeah.
But Marvel didn't have that. So what they did was that they had certain characters. So if you notice how like the Avengers are big now, back like 30 years ago, the Avengers really were not big. They were not. It was X-Men, it was Spider-Man, it was Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Those three franchises would be sold. Fantastic Four and X-Men would be sold to Fox. And then Spider-Man would be sold to Sony. So all the rights to those characters on screen would be sold. I'm going to say about 6, 7 years ago, Disney made all that money back because Marvel eventually got into bed with Disney, and Disney was like, "Hey, Fox, we see you're struggling. Let's buy you."
Yeah.
So they bought Fox, and they bought back all the rights to those characters. Right, and they just released all the terrible X-Men films they could, and they technically released the first X-Men adjacent film a couple years ago with Deadpool and Wolverine. So now Marvel is going to make their own X-Men movie. Now they're gonna essentially wipe out what the X-Men as we know it. And Doomsday, we know that a lot of the former cast is going to be in the movie. They were at San Diego Comic-Con. So now we have a new X-Men movie. And Eli, we have some casting announcements.
Yes. I'm so excited. I gotta be honest. X-Men is like my jam. Like, you talk about some superheroes, and I'm a big Fantastic Four guy, big X-Men guy. Wolverine's like one of my favorites of all time. I mean, it's either him or Thor. I know we're talking X-Men here, so I'll keep it X-Men related. But yeah, Wolverine, that's my guy. And I mean, there's so many cool Okay, you get to the news. Like, I can't wait any longer.
So we now have pretty much a confirmed 3 of the 5. A couple of them still in the works, but Kaylee Spannany is going to play Rogue. Mm-hmm. The newest announcement is Kit Connor is going to play Cyclops. Of course, Sadie Sink will be Jean Grey. Charles Melton will probably be the Beast, and Samara Weaving will be Emma Frost. The movie will be directed by Jake Schreier, who directed Thunderbolts and Paper Towns, and he also has directed the TV show Beef.
Yes.
And he's also directed like a ton of music videos. He did Chance the Rapper's Same Drugs. He did all of Benny Blanco's music videos.
Yep.
He's done a lot. And so he will be the director of the X-Men movie. There is no set date for it, but I'm guessing it's probably going to be 2028, 2029, around that time, because Marvel has not announced their plans for Phase 7. We are still currently in Phase 6. So Phase 7 will be the next one. But yeah, we got to like Kit Connor. Kit Connor is a pretty good actor.
Yeah. I think it's pretty incredible. Like the new faces, the new actors and actresses that are going to get some of these roles with all this opening up, because we talk about how some of these actors and actresses right now with some of the superheroes that they've played or supervillains, whatever, have become superstars in the acting world. Tom Holland has obviously had history before in acting. He's had some other roles, but let's not get it mistaken. He's known to the world as Spider-Man because of his incredible work in Spider-Man. And I'm excited to see what some of these other actors, actresses are able to do in terms of what they can build with this character. Because again, it's just like you mentioned, it's getting started really again. They're kind of restarting it. So they're able to kind of mold a future for the next 5-10 years, because movies don't come out. We're not talking about a basketball season where it's every you play 8-9 months and then you're back again in 3-4 months. No, there's a reality. They do one in 28 and 20 or 28 or 29, and they may not drop the next one until 2031, 32. So these guys and girls could really have an opportunity to make a name in Hollywood. And of course, you think about all the not downtime, because you're always working, but having an ability to make a name off of this and then get into some of these other roles and find an opportunity to branch off. I'm very excited. I'm actually, on a joking note, I'm actually surprised Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wasn't considered for one of these roles, because he seems to be in everything from cartoons to, I'm surprised. No Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, no John Cena. I'm kind of surprised.
I'm going to just say this. I think the world is starting to move away from the wrestler actor. I will say this. John Cena is not a bad actor.
Right.
He gets roles that are where he is kind of like The Rock. The Rock plays The Rock. John Cena plays John Cena. Yes. John Cena is actually a really good actor. I do like him in more comedic roles. I think he's actually a really good comedic actor.
Yes.
The Rock just plays The Rock.
No, I agree. I
love The Rock, but he just plays The Rock. That's
I agree. I'll tell you this. John Cena, one of my favorite movies, him, just on a side note, and we'll get back to X-Men, is Ricky Stenicki. I don't know if you've seen Ricky Stenicki yet. But
I've seen Ricky's Today.
that's one of my favorite movies of last year. I can't lie. I mean, that was a lot of fun. Or 2 years, whatever ago, 2 years ago. I mean, but back to X-Men here for a minute. This is incredible, Autumn. And I'm gonna be honest. I love superheroes and supervillains, but I don't know all the lore. I'm gonna be so honest here. I don't know it as well as you do. It took me a minute to watch Avengers. Avengers happened, and then Avengers Endgame happened, and I had not watched Infinity War or I had not watched Endgame until maybe 2 or 3 years after Endgame came out. So it was a real long time for me to watch it. Now, I mean, a lot of things that were happening at the time. I was working a job that I was working about 100 hours a week. So I really didn't have any time to watch anything except for my eyelids when I went home. But, I want to get more immersed, into the superheroes because I love it. I absolutely love it. When we go to Universal, it's a family trip. We go typically every other year. The Moon household, and we all gather up. And now my niece and nephew, next time we go to Universal, my niece will be able to go with us. Last time my sister was pregnant with my niece, so it was incredible. But they'll be able to see some of the stuff, and I love it. The Fantastic Four stuff and the Spider-Man stuff, and I just love this type of stuff because it takes you out of reality for a moment. Because of course they have these incredible superpowers that maybe me and you or you and I don't have, but it also keeps a reality base too. It's not like it was back in the 60s and 70s where it's like, well, they're a superhero. Well, what do they do when they're not a superhero? Well, they're a superhero. Now it's like, hey, Peter Parker actually has some real shit going on in his life, and then he has to go save the world. And I just think it's so cool that crossover. And again, I want to get more immersed into that. And I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. I know this is your show. I got a question for you. Hypothetical. This movie doesn't come out till 2029 in the fall. Let's say week 1 of the NFL season and the Cleveland Browns have launched their dome. They have the new dome in Brook Park. They are going to be at home week 1.
Are you asking me which one I'm going to?
It's a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a night game. It's Sunday Night Football. Which one? And you get tickets to this on the house, or you get tickets to the Browns versus Steelers Sunday Night Football 2029, first game in the dome. Which one are you going to?
I'm going to see the X-Men.
Wow. Okay.
I studied popular culture in college. I literally took a whole class on superhero films and how to break them down and how to look at them from a scholarly point of view. So I will 100% take the X-Men. So I'm also going to explain the potential storyline because the storyline is, from what I'm gathering, is that they're probably starting off with the Mr. Sinister storyline. So Nathaniel Essex, who is Mr. Sinister, is obsessed with mutant genetics, cloning, and specifically the bloodline of Cyclops and his brothers. Cyclops and his brothers all have specific powers. So Cyclops can shoot beams out of his eyes. One of his brothers, his name Havoc, can shoot beams from his body. So he becomes obsessed with them. And so they're probably going to incorporate him. I'm curious to see who they'll pick to be Professor X and Magneto.
Yeah.
And then the Marauders, because Marvel has Marauders, slaughter an entire mutant community. I will say this. The X-Men is the darkest of all of the Marvel anything. The amount of genocides that happen to the X-Men across any sort of plot is crazy. But yeah, no, so it'll probably be that. They'll probably cast a young William Stryker. If you don't know who William Stryker is the head of a government organization that eventually captures Wolverine and puts adamantium in his body, and he turns into the Wolverine we know today. So yeah, I'm honestly really excited to see this cast come through. I think they're actually trying to do something different.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we are not getting actors that are mid-20s, early 30s. Samara Weaving is in her early 30s, but she's playing Emma Frost, who has to be a woman in her early 30s.
Right.
Everybody else, Charles Melton is also in his early 30s. He's playing a man who's blue. He's literally blue with hands for feet.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to really see too many wrinkles or whatever if he's blue. I mean, just put a little extra paint on him. No, I mean, it's going to be cool. I think, again, like you mentioned, we kind of doubled down on that, the opportunity for a new rise of actors and actresses in Hollywood. We've seen what Marvel and what the superhero and supervillain lane has done for a lot of actors, actresses in the past. I mean, it's kept a lot of them employed past their run as, whatever character they play. So I'm excited about it. I'm not going to lie. I obviously you said 28, 29. I'll keep it on my calendar, in terms of those years, and we'll see when they announce it. But that's definitely one I'll be in theaters for. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Now, speaking of theaters, I want to play you a little video.
Yes.
I want to play you a little video from an experience that I want to have, but I don't think Ohio has them. So let's just watch this video.
Okay. All right. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Hold the horses. Hold on.
StreamYard hates me tonight. All right, let's try this again. Okay?
Yeah, take one. Nothing happened before.
Take one. Take two.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
In the universe.
Come on, man.
He's too powerful.
Oh no. Oh no, that's a lot of liquor.
I'm spilling my drink. I'm spilling my. Oh, this is the best part.
Oh my God. So if you guys do not know what that is the 4DX movie experience. Eli, when I tell you that it looks so fun, I would love to do it, but I also know myself and I know that I would throw up right after.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm right there with you. I get motion sickness from playing Call of Duty. I'm not even able to play Call of Duty or Fortnite really like that because I guess one of the great things Papa Moon has handed down to me is motion sickness playing video games that you have to spin around and all that other stuff. Autumn, not even just because of the spinning and the bouncing around and the abrupt randomness. But think about the money. Just think about the money. Like, is there insurance on some of those snacks? Like, if you spill your popcorn, can you go get a refill? Like, hey, dude, it wasn't me. The 4DX thing just shook the shit out of me, and now I don't have my popcorn. Like, I mean, look at the guy with the liquor. I mean, that had to be a nice margarita or something. I mean,
I go spill my drink.
I'm spilling my drink. I'm spilling. We see, buddy, and that's a lot of liquor. And let's be real, at the movie theater, it's usually double the cost of what it is at a typical bar or club. So,
yeah. Look, if you want to laugh, watch all the 4DX reactions to the Odyssey.
Oh no!
If you guys don't know why the 4DX when the Odyssey is so funny, it's because half of the Odyssey takes place on a boat. Half of that movie and half of that story is on a boat. So people are getting waters.
You know what you need? You need the helmet where like you have the straws and you can drink the drink so you don't spill it.
Yes. Oh my God. That between that and then the people who are going to see Spider-Man and say, dang, I didn't realize I was in the movie. And some girl said at one point when he was fighting everybody, you could feel it in your back.
That's a blowout. I mean, my goodness.
I would do it just simply to be entertained, but I know if I was to watch the Odyssey or like an Avatar or something where there's just a ton of water, not only would I be mad, but then I would get severely sick.
Yeah, in the water too. Like they're splashing the water. Was there water coming at the one dude? Like they had raincoats. I can't even think of the word. Ponchos. My goodness, and you mentioned about like the fighting scenes. Imagine watching Rocky 4.
Oh my God.
With the 4DX movie experience back in Drago just whooping on Apollo Creed and Rocky, and you're just getting boom, 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 boom to the back. My goodness. Do you have like blood, like ketchup fly at you? If like I mean, what's going on here? What is going on?
Wait, I forgot the last one. This is the last point I'm gonna make before we go to the break. Somebody else went to go see Michael in 40.
Stop.
And they said every time Joe beat them, it felt like they were getting beat too.
Oh no. I was just wondering if the chair, like when Michael hits his spin, if the whole chair spins around.
Oh my God. Like the thought, like for real, like the thought of sitting in a movie theater and like my chair just shaking. Like I get irritated at 3D. I hate 3D movies. I despise it, especially as an adult, because now I have like real bad astigmatism and I can't see.
Okay.
So now I'm like, okay, so I can't see, and now I'm wearing glasses with a film on it. It's pissing me off, right? And then if I take the glasses off, it looks stupid because I have to wear the glasses. But
I'm not gonna lie. My last point on this is, first off, I love the IMAX at Cinemark. I love going to that theater when they do like the shaking and stuff. Not 40X, but it gets a little crazy.
We're talking about XD. We're talking about XD.
Yes, XD. Thank you. And now, with all that being said, my final point on this, I know we got to go to break. What we just watched, if you're out there and you're a single person and you're thinking about where to go, we've talked about movies and first date. This, for sure. If you were thinking maybe, Eli Autumn, you're wrong. I'm still going to, okay, fine, whatever. Don't listen to us. You do whatever you like. Please, for the love of everything good and holy, don't take your hopeful to be significant other in the future to a 40X movie. Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to be like, so, what's your favorite color? Popcorn everywhere. Oh my goodness. And that's it. All right, Autumn. That's all I got.
When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about the art of the PR relationship and why it does have to do with sports and why it does have to do with entertainment. And if you're really good at it, it could lead to a joyous and fruitful relationship. We'll be back.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick.
With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh.
I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
So the stunning thing about the QB tiers list, the one produced by The Athletic, NFL executives, head coaches, general managers voted on, it's not that Shedeur Sanders was ranked last. I mean, that part is very odd, but that's not it. It's not even that Deshaun Watson, for the most part, was considered a tier 4 quarterback. But there was an NFL head coach, unnamed NFL head coach, current NFL head coach, who considered Deshaun Watson right now to be a tier 2 NFL starting quarterback. Yeah, I'm about as stunned as you are right now. We're talking like the same level as like Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert, Drake May. Yeah, there's a head coach out there who believes, and his name is not Todd Monken. There's a head coach out there who believes that Deshaun Watson is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. We tried to break that down last night on Midnight Run. We really got into it, myself and Eli. But coming up tonight, who do you blame for ruining baseball? What if I told you the answer is not the Los Angeles Dodgers? We'll get into that. And what if I also told you that there's only one team that can prevent the lockout from extending and missing games in 2027? What if I told you that team was the Cleveland Guardians? Wait, what? Yeah, we got a lot to break down. Plus, our network, Inside Edge Network QB tiers list. We'll get into all that. We are busy. We're locked and loaded. Tonight at midnight, a Midnight Run right here on the Inside Edge Network.
Welcome back, everyone. Here. I'm Daily Spiral. Oh, let's do it again. Oh my god. I was about to say Midnight Run. Oh my god. Something is wrong.
You hope Midnight Run too?
Oh my god. So I was literally about to say Midnight Run. I'm like, what am I about to say? No, I said the Daily Spiral. I don't know what's going on with my brain. But Eli, I've been teasing it all episode.
Yes.
And that is the PR relationship. Now, I know people are probably wondering, why am I bringing up PR relationships? That is because we are in a PR relationship crisis.
Okay.
And not in the way you think. I miss the PR relationship. Do you know what a PR relationship is?
Well, I'd imagine like public relations, just so everybody looks good and you show up in public, but you don't really like each other. You're just showing face for the camera. And then you may not even live together. You may just show up, meet up and yeah, I'd imagine that's what a PR relationship is.
Yeah, essentially it's a relationship in which both of you reap the benefits. So like in Hollywood, the PR relationship is usually like co-stars, right? Mm-hmm. Like there'll be a rumor that's like, hey, this co-star in this movie that I'm shooting is their new boyfriend or girlfriend. And you're like, huh? And there's never a photo of them. There may be like a photo at a basketball game or a like grainy photo at a restaurant. But their people come out with these stories like, yeah, they're really happy together. They're really lovely. It's really a beautiful relationship. They're just trying to keep it on the low, trying to keep it private. And then the project will come out and then the couple will break up, right?
Right.
That's a PR relationship. And I know what you're probably thinking. Do sports have PR relationships? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We absolutely have sports PR relationships, okay?
Okay.
If you ever see a quarterback and he dates a celebrity woman for 3 months and they're like, yeah, we couldn't do it because of the distance, that's a PR relationship. That lady is being paid to make that man look good, make him look better,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For example, example, Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez, for a very long time, was the king of the PR relationship.
Yes.
When I say he dated every single up and coming or decently well-known actress for like 3 months, he was the king of the PR relationship. But sports teams and their athletes can also be in PR relationships.
Oh yeah. I agree. I tend to agree with that. I mean, star players of the team, I would say the Bucks and Giannis were in a PR relationship for quite a long time until they weren't. And, the breakup happened. Even towards the end, nobody really said anybody was a bad guy. So nobody really disparaged their name. Giannis even doing the interview after the fact with, Milwaukee Bucks reporter and discussing that, I'm just worried a little bit still. It'd be nice to come back here. And, nobody mad at anybody. I get what you're saying. Now, I guess my thought too is like, so while we're on this, is Bam Adebayo and Asia Wilson a PR relationship?
No, they love each other.
Okay, I think so too.
That is love. That is love. Because this is the thing: the PR relationship only happens when it is beneficial for the both of their careers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bam doesn't need Asia, and Asia definitely doesn't need Bam. Okay,
True.
So think about this. The most famous PR relationship in history I can think of is Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. They were the most famous PR relationship that somehow turned out to be real.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I think of like A-Rod, A-Rod and what, Jessica Simpson, was it? Was it A-Rod?
No, A-Rod and
Tony Romo and Jessica Simpson. That was a big one. But A-Rod, who was A-Rod with? Oh my goodness.
A-Rod had Kate Hudson.
Yes.
He had Tori Wilson.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Yes, J-Lo herself.
That's oh my goodness.
The PR relationship can turn real, people. Like I said, J-Lo was the queen. She was the queen of the PR relationship for a really long time, right?
Yes.
Once again, Mark Sanchez, he was the king of the PR relationship. The PR relationship is always, they are never seen together, people. And if they are seen together, they are seen together conveniently where there are always photographers.
Yes. Like I think of like even Aaron Rodgers and Danica Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that comes to my mind. I never saw them anywhere except for if it was a NASCAR track or if it was at a football game. I mean, or an occasional ESPYs award or something. Yeah, there's some. All right. I mean, there's definitely some interesting ones. Now, I don't know. Obviously, I'm in the music world. I don't know if there's a ton of that in the music world. There are cases, but I don't think there's a ton of that. I'll be honest. I don't think there's a ton of it.
Let me tell you right now. If movies is number one, television number two, movies is in the top, music is in the top 5. The entire 90s was PR relationships.
All right.
Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey. That was clearly a PR relationship to start, and they somehow, somewhere got married. Again, it has to be beneficial to both parties. Okay.
So Meg Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson.
No, that's not a PR relationship, unfortunately, because they hid their relationship. Again, this has to, when I say beneficial, as in like she has to have an album coming out, he has to have a shoe deal coming out. They're only promoting it for that period of time, and then they break up.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm following here. Okay.
Like in the 90s, it was like Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake. Definitely PR relationship to start. And it can always come out real. It can always come out to be real, people. Ben Affleck has done it 3 different times.
So Drake and Rihanna, PR relationship?
No, he's obsessed with her.
Yeah, he is. But I guess, you think of it, and I'm not the biggest Drake fan. I mean, I like Take Care, and then after that, it kind of goes downhill for him. But I guess like they were always promoting stuff though. Like Rihanna, that was like, I know they never like officially dated. They were always like seen with each other and the stuff. But you had Rihanna with all of her stuff blowing up, it was this Disturbia era of Rihanna, that kind of vibe. And then you had Drake, he was dropping Take Care. And a lot of people think a lot of those songs on Take Care about Rihanna. And she's on that album.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the thing. Like I said, it can turn out to be real. There are PR relationship elements.
Okay.
For example, like them having multiple songs together and promoting it and kind of being flirty with each other is leaning into the PR relationship part of it. But them really never being seen together, never really being caught together, and we all know he's obsessed with her, that could be like the answer to it not being a PR relationship. I'm gonna give you one of the best examples of a sports celebrity crossover PR relationship. People don't fight me, but it's Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
I mean, but they're married now.
That doesn't matter. It actually that leans more into the PR part of it, because think about this. Their relationship started when he was really taking off with his podcast.
Right.
She was in PR turmoil. She had just gotten a relationship with Maddie Healy. Maddie Healy is something. He's something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that he's something. So you get out of a relationship where you are your PR is at a low, especially because you already came out of another relationship where people kind of lean towards him. Travis kind of needed a boost. You get together, and now you're a beloved couple in the NFL. Now people are looking at her every move. Now people are following the NFL. The NFL's like the viewership spike to like 40 million people because of her, right? Hell, you have people being like, I hope the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl so we can see her at the Super Bowl. You remember that?
I do. I feel like the real PR stuff here, I know we're up against, so I'll be quick, but I feel like for me, like the real PR stuff for them is going to happen if they were not when, but if it happens, where if they were to break up, because of course they got married on July 4th. I've talked to you before about Taylor's next album could be, Independence Day. I've seen that on social media, and look, I mean, there's a lot to break down. Travis just signed an extension. If something were to happen, she drops an album and it's during training camp. Training camp's about to heat up, and then he's like, "Man, I'm back's against the wall, and now I'm gonna do my thing." I'm picking up what you're throwing down. But
think about this, Eli. She announced her last album on his podcast.
I get it.
Their entire look, and this actually there was a clip from Hard Knocks. Cooper Kupp was at their wedding.
Yeah.
How does Cooper Kupp know Travis Kelce? They never played on the same team. They never even interacted. Even Cooper Kupp himself said, "Yeah, I don't know how I got an invitation to this wedding." Right?
Yeah.
The PR relationship is not PR relationship and how it needs to be, because again, we need to have a breakup and then you both equally grow in your field. And that's why the sports PR relationships are very funny, because like you said, Giannis and the Bucks were definitely in a PR relationship.
Yes.
100%. I would have said Memphis and Ja, but
LeBron and the Cavs even in a PR relationship.
100%. LeBron and the Cavs 100% have a PR relationship.
I guess
every 5 years they use each other.
I know we got to get to your good and bad spiral. I guess my final point is, why the hell don't people love each other anymore? Why don't people just love people? Why does it always got to be what the gain? And maybe I'm a hopeless romantic. Yeah, I'm so, I was talking to Papa Moon earlier today. I'm going to pull the curtain back for a moment. And I said, he's like, it's been a minute, are you looking for love? And I said, Papa Moon, no, I'm not. I said, because here's the reality of the situation. I've been in more situationships in the last 4 years than I've been in solid dating discussion. And that's my final point. I completely agree with the PR relationship, and we are in a crisis with it. But why don't people just love each other anymore?
Again, you guys, we're about to see the PR spin happen real crazy coming up with the NFL season. MLB season, of course, is already full in effect with PR spin. NBA season, definitely. But we're about to get inundated here in the NFL season. Now, good spiral and bad spiral of the day.
Oh, one more, Autumn. Sorry, yeah. I just thought of it because you got me thinking. Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn.
No, because they went to college together. And she was way more popular before he became popular.
All right, I don't want to be wrong again. Good spiral, my bad.
Good spiral of the day. Chelsea Gray of the Las Vegas Aces hit not one, but 2 buzzer beater shots in the same game. She hit a buzzer beater 3 to send it to overtime. She hit a buzzer beater 3 to win it against the Indiana Fever in a very long road trip that the Las Vegas Aces are on. But it was one of the craziest. That's actually why I was late coming on, because I was watching the replay video on my phone.
Okay.
No, Chelsea Gray, the first WNBA player to hit two, not one, but two buzzer beater shots in the same game.
Okay.
Bad spiral of the day. Honestly, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. It's still Deshaun Watson. I just don't want him on. I don't want to see him play football. Every time I see him with a football in his hands, I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're so terrible.
Yeah. Well, 7 touchdowns yesterday on the quarterback tracker, Autumn. I'm kidding. Okay, I'm being serious. It was red zone day. I'm not happy about it either. Okay. I'm not happy. Let me be clear. He should never play another snap in the NFL again. And he shouldn't have after all that stuff. All joking aside, it's ridiculous. But of course, I can't get the image of Double A laughing when he read the stats yesterday on Midnight Run of going, Deshaun Watson, 17 to 20, 7. That can't be fucking right. 7 touchdowns. And I'm like, yeah, it was red zone day, bro. It was red zone day. Yeah, he's not good. He's not a good player. He's not. But when you put him 20 yards away from the end zone, you know what? Things are going to happen, I guess. But yeah.
You know times I've seen him 20 yards away from the end zone and he couldn't even get 5 yards? That don't mean nothing. You're not in full pads. And you're come on.
Look, anybody that respects women should not want Deshaun Watson to be their starting quarterback. So give me Shedeur Sanders.
Absolutely. Give me Shedeur any day of the week. Now, tomorrow, I don't know if Double A is showing up tomorrow. Double A, are you showing up tomorrow?
I don't think Double A is showing up tomorrow. You know what? He somehow saved up so much PTO time from September to now, and he's just burning it all. It's just absolutely crazy. He might pop up here, so he's got to be ready. But I'm going to switch the studios. No, he didn't. So, while he can't, he can add himself. But I'll just say this. You know what? I hope Double A enjoys his Friday. I hope he gets a nice cup of coffee in the morning. Hope he, he was supposed to swing over and grab some dinner. Autumn had some leftover dinner for him. Bob Moon and I, we made.
No.
Yeah.
No. We're not doing this. You're not lying to this audience.
I'm not. My name's Eli, but I tell the truth.
We're not lying to this audience. I called you because I just taped the Side Hustle podcast.
Yeah.
I called you. Who did not pick up the phone?
Double A, what time did you call me?
Pick up. Said food offer that you have for me.
Now, Autumn, I want to be very clear here for a second. Double A called me at 9:29 at night when I was starting prep for Inside Edge Primetime. As much as I love him, there's my brother. You got to give me a heads up. You said I might, and I quote, I might take you up on it. That's how our conversation.
That's not 0%.
I actually told Pop Moon, because Pop Moon's like, let me get him a cold pop in the freezer. Let me get him ready to go. I was like, Pops, there's about a 10% chance Double A shows up after a Side Hustle.
Is that 0? It's not 0.
It's
That's
not.
10%. And I am very much a low maintenance friend. I know the time. I made the damn schedule. I would have showed up, said thank you for the food. I appreciate it, and I would have dipped. I would have been your low maintenance freeloader.
No, you know what? You're always look.
Thank you for the house.
Nothing
I'm out.
I don't even. Why?
Double A. Here's my fear. Look, you're always welcome for dinner. We've had Javi's over. We would always welcome you. You're always welcome. Here's my fear. Papa Moon was still awake at that time, and you and Papa Moon get into a discussion that I cannot cut off. You guys would have been talking in the background of Primetime for 20 minutes. Papa Moon, well, here's my idea with this, and you would have been like, I love that. Have you heard about this? And let me tell you about the 95 Indians, Double A. Let me tell you about those guys. They had nobody below 270, and Double A would be like, oh my goodness, is amazing. Do you want to sit back down and do a moon bash round 2? Like, we did so great. Double A, I love you. The food's still here. We have leftovers. If you want to come over tomorrow.
I'm gassed to make it back over there.
That's fair.
The hell? I'm in Bedford. Going to your town is like a cross-country trip with these gas prices.
Yeah,
Eli, what, huh? Where do you live?
I live in Parma.
Double A.
I was just over there a few hours ago.
Double A. It takes me 10 minutes to get to Parma. 15,
You're in double digits. I can't do double
15,
digits. Until payday.
Come on.
No. It takes
double
10
digits
minutes to get to
until
Parma.
payday.
15 if the traffic is bad and there's construction.
I can't do it. No.
Double A, if what you wanted to say was you just didn't want the dinner, that it wasn't up to standard of the other dinners Papa Moon has made, then I get it, man. It's okay.
Listen, if you're asking me to go past Turney Road, I can't do it.
Jesus Christ.
I can't do it. Turney Road. My limit is Turney Road, Harvard. I might go a mile past 271. That's it.
You wouldn't go down Rockside to hit Valley View and Independence. That's not all that's too much for you.
Valley View, maybe. Independence.
Double A. Independence from Bedford is 10 minutes the max.
Did I just say double digits?
10 minutes.
Did I just say double digits?
You're speeding.
You better round that down to 8.5.
That's why I specifically tell you when you're like, how far away is this place? I'm like, well, it's like 7.5 minutes. And it's like definitely like 25
You know how
minutes
far away I was from your place, Eli, when I was
I know how far away.
I was 90 seconds away. No answer. No answer.
I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to get the hair together. It was a mess. I was trying to get in the prime time. You could attest to Chad. I was running late for prep. Double A. There was just, if you would have gave me the heads up like during side hustle, hey,
I gave you the heads up.
No, you didn't. If you would have said, get that bowl ready for me, I would have had it ready. Could have probably even handed out the window to you.
That's okay. That's okay. After midnight run, I'm gonna watch Chris Hansen.
Yes, please do.
I'm gonna watch. To Catch a Predator. Now it's called Takedown.
Yes,
Chris I heard you guys talk about Primetime.
Not the 10 o'clock show Primetime.
Yeah, I heard you guys talk about the movie Primetime.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Hansen these days, there's no filter.
I told them. Look. If you want to watch Chris Hansen say some of the wildest stuff you could ever hear, watch Takedown. Now so there's two versions of it. So there's the paid version where you have to pay for it, and then there's a free version. The free version, you'll get like half the episodes, but you'll get a preview, and eventually the paid episode will come out. It is the wildest show out there.
I was going to pull a clip. It is so, even for what we do, I can't do it. No, I can't do it. You just got to take our word for it.
There's an episode where a guy just goes, I'm so dumb. I'm so stupid. And it's like, huh? And he's like, I can't believe I'm so dumb. Like, it is the wildest show. Okay, before you guys get to Midnight Run, tomorrow, make a big announcement. Double A, am I going to see you tomorrow? Yes or no?
No.
Oh my God.
We won't see either one of us.
I told, I do 3,000.
Can I take Friday off?
What was that?
Can I take Friday off or no?
Yes.
Oh, I can't?
The offer is for the entire station. I think Kyle's working tomorrow because he already took the day off earlier in the week. Chad's off tomorrow. Eli's off tomorrow. I'm taking tomorrow off.
I will be taking tomorrow off. I will be taking tomorrow off. So let me make the announcement now since I won't be here next week.
Go ahead.
The Daily Spiral will be moving to 8 p.m. starting August 17th, correct? Yes. Right?
Yes. You're on vacation next week. Yeah.
Starting August 17th, you will not see my beautiful face at 11 o'clock. You will start seeing my beautiful face at 8 p.m. here on Inside Edge Network. You know what? I'll save the rest of my takes for the rest of the week for when I come back.
Yeah, you got a whole week.
You gonna forget all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, I won't. I have them written down right here. Because you guys, I'm going to just give you a preview. I'm deeply involved in niche drama TikTok. Niche drama TikTok is killing me of how great it is. And if you want to know what niche drama is, there's two different girls who've gotten their dress stolen by two different women off of an app called Pickle.
Okay, come on, Autumn. All right, listen.
There's a man.
So, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by Pickle?
There's a man who made a
Sounds like
video
they're in a pickle.
who made a video about his sister's makeup artist canceling on her a month before her wedding.
Oh, that's bad.
And there's a scammer out there that is mad at two podcasters because they kept the same energy with her in person.
Oh, that's bad. That's real bad.
Not good. Not good.
That's
well,
terrible.
Autumn. Jeez.
Hold up, Autumn. Before you, I'm sorry, Eli. This is the last time we're gonna follow each other
I know.
stuff. So I gotta take advantage of the overrun opportunity.
Mhm.
What the hell was that QVC clip you played earlier? What is that?
That
What's the clip I see down here? What is
First
this?
of all, this is the QVC clip. This is the QVC clip. You want to play it? You want me to play it real quick?
Somebody play it.
Somebody play it.
Hold on.
Oh, and that's
Right.
the end.
You gotta go back to I keep forgetting you can drag and restart it. All right, let's play it.
And this wave pattern, again, it looks like you went and got a blow job at your blowout at your salon. Oh my God. And it looks beautiful.
All right,
hope it
so
looks
here's
beautiful.
what's happening today. We're having a huge beauty sale. Everything ships to you for free, but that goes away at the end of the day. I will remind you that this
She
is
dropped to the
a
ground.
one-time only price, where the price goes up at the end of the show, not the end of the day. So we're going to save you.
Yo, it is the way that she just goes. I can't believe y'all. QVC is the funniest. That's another thing. If you want to laugh, just go on TikTok and look up QVC, and you will laugh for hours.
You know, pretty soon we might add a home shopping 1 a.m. hour. Who knows?
As long as they don't say what the fuck that lady just said.
Oh,
Well, for our audience, that might be for the best.
there was a lady who called in, and there was a shirt, and she was like, "Oh my God, I love your shirt because I can wear my pasties underneath." And they were like, "Huh?" And she was like, "Yeah, I can wear my nipple pasties underneath." QVC is some of the funniest drama. It's so funny because the people just say whatever, and the hosts just have to keep going with it because it's live television.
It's live. It's transactional. Like you gotta.
It's beautiful.
You gotta get after it. Some may say it's a PR relation. No, you gotta get after it. I might as well get my announcement out of the way too, since everybody else has announcements.
Mm-hmm.
My show is still called Midnight Run. That's my announcement. Autumn, enjoy your vacation, and we'll see you at 8:00 on Monday, August 17th.
Yes. Also, Monday, August 31st. No, Monday. Yes, Monday, August 31st. Put it on your calendar. It's Love Island Reunion watch along. Love Island Reunion will be shooting this Monday. And the 31st, we will be watching it here on Inside Edge Network.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
But yes.
Autumn, enjoy the early start to your vacation. Thank you for everything you do for the network.
Thank you guys. I needed it. I need a day.
Yeah. The Daily Spiral's next. I'm sorry. Now I'm catching Autumn drift here, naming the wrong shows. Midnight Run with me starts after the station ID.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
And welcome to Midnight Run here on the Inside Edge Network. Great to have you along. My name's Anthony Alford. Welcome on in. We are at Inside Edge Net across all of our social media platforms. YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Iffy maybe on Facebook. That's a day-to-day thing. That's what's not day-to-day. Our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com, InsideEdgeNetwork.com, where you can see our show schedule. More on the show schedule, by the way, in 2 seconds. But InsideEdgeNetwork.com. And then if you have Roku, if you own a Roku app or own Roku in general, download the Inside Edge Network app. Download it. Just search Inside Edge Network. We have it for you on the Roku. Now, a few announcements for you before we talk Cleveland. By the way, disappointed in the Cleveland Guardians. I'm still going to put over the Guardians. How the hell you get swept by the Mets? What are we doing? But Guardians are a big part of the A block. More on them in just a bit. But first, you've heard everybody else on the network allude to major programming announcements, and I will lump mine in with the overall scope of our network. 1 month from, just about a month from now, September 5th will be the 1-year anniversary of the Inside Edge Network. And I am very proud of our entire team. And everyone that's on the daytime lineup has been with us since day one of the network, all the way through. Our very first broadcast was a NFL season preview with myself, Chad Bryant, and TK Dandridge. That was the very first broadcast back on September 5th, 2025. And since that moment in time, we have grown to averaging over 40,000 viewers, either through our live shows or show clips each and every single week here on the network. We're one of the very few platforms based here in Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, that has grown over the summer. During most people, most stations, most networks' dead times, we have grown. And 11 months in, we're now in month 12. We are ready to grow here again as we get ready for football season. So you've been hearing all the talents, you've been seeing the commercials. Allude to a new programming lineup where, let me stress, nobody is going away. In fact, what we're doing is actually expanding, and we're opening shows up to new audiences. So here we go. You just heard Autumn just a few minutes ago. When she's back from vacation on August 17th, the Daily Spiral will kick things off at 8 o'clock right here on the Inside Edge Network. So that will be on August 17th. Now, the rest of the lineup changes will take place this upcoming Monday here on the Inside Edge Network. This upcoming Monday. Unfiltered. My guy, Kyle Cornell, he's been doing an unbelievable job. Local news, community news, and big time events, local and national, and he gets after it. And he's going to be able to bring it to you at a time where nobody else in the city is bringing it to you. Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell, 9 o'clock, starting Monday here on the Inside Edge Network, weeknights. Again, this is a one-stream thing. All these shows you're going to hear is all going to be on one stream. Then at 10 o'clock, Eli and Chad, they're not going anywhere. In fact, they're going to stretch their legs out just a little bit. Inside Edge Primetime, the show that you know and love, is staying at 10 o'clock, but it's going to expand to 90 minutes. Eli Moon and Chad Bryant with Inside Edge Primetime, a show, by the way, I'm so proud of. I'm very proud of the both of them, because the show came after, the Browns coaching search. And it was actually taking a little while, and it went from, Kevin Stefanski being let go. Who's going to be, and we had just a string of breaking news. And we was like, okay, who's going to cover the breaking news? Who can get after the breaking news? Eli and Chad, they kept stepping up, and they came up with a concept called Thursday Topics. And, it went from that. And I asked both of them, can we make this a nightly thing? And they said, yes. We grew it. They grew it quickly. They pulled back just a little bit. And then they said, the F with it. we're good for 5 days. And now they are stepping up 90 minutes, 10 o'clock, starting Monday, Inside Edge Primetime. We mentioned Daily Spiral is moving to 8 o'clock with Autumn. So at 11:30, I come on the air. Midnight Run. Starting at 11:30. It's going to go till 1 a.m. So starting Monday, join us at 9 o'clock. And then August 17th, we're going to have a 5-hour stream each and every single night. So maximizing our primetime lineup straight through. We are the only local destination available to you after 11 o'clock with this venture too. So we're very excited. Very exciting stuff. All that kicks off starting Monday right here on the network. That's why we got some behind the scenes, behind what we call behind the house stuff to take care of tomorrow. Think of, you remember when teachers or you remember when educators would have what they call in-service day? Like us students, we used to say, oh, yeah, early release day. Oh, yay. Think of it like that for us. We're going to update, we got to update the ticker. We got to update the website. We got to update commercials, things like that. So there's going to be some work. But again, we are a skeleton crew bringing it to you. So we all work behind the scenes as well. So that's why Unfiltered you'll see tomorrow. But tomorrow night, we'll probably have a replay for you during the night stream. But come Monday, all ready to go with programming. Very exciting stuff. I just want to say, too, none of this is possible without you guys, the audience. You guys have been rocking with us all the way through. I want to personally thank Eli for this particular question. And actually, Eli, I want you to come on the screen because I'm going to answer that question for you. We had our programming meeting earlier in the week, and Eli, who's also our assistant program director here at the Inside Edge Network, asked our team, what is your why to doing this? To not, yes, get in front of the microphone, but also make sure the presentation looks good, the commercials, the topics, all that stuff, helping each other out, and doing this 5 days. We say 5 days a week, but we work at this 7 days a week. But what is your why? And I apologize for not putting this in the rundown, but I think this is important to get out. There's two different levels of this with my why. The easy surface level answer is we believe we can do a great job. We're going to have fun, something to rock out. We have a lot of opinions. Why not share it? That is an answer, but it's the surface level. The deep answer is in twofold. Number one, I truly believe with the way that our industry is moving in media and broadcasting, I don't believe in slamming any lick of media. I think there's something there for local radio. There's something there for local television. There's something there for the established guys. I wanted to lead a platform and provide a platform and build it from scratch, a platform that would change the industry, that would evolve the industry in 2025, now 2026, and God willing into 2027 and beyond. And having an opportunity to build all of this from scratch, the foundation, and to have a team with me to, if all of us are successful, we are successful, and we thank you guys for it. But to really, really elevate this industry to a new level and prove that, it ain't just about sitting on your behind, turning on the microphone and doing it. But if you work hard, if you work at the craft, if you treat this professionally, you're going to have people not only watch, they're going to talk about you, and they're going to come back and they're going to check you out. And then others will notice. And seeing this built from an idea, from scratch, seeing the foundation. And when Peter Tellup, our owner, of course, LPV Productions and owner of the Inside Edge Network, when he approached me and said, hey, can you be the program director of this? I jumped at it because this was an opportunity, but I needed the right people around me. And the person sitting next to me that you see on the screen is one of the biggest reasons why we're successful. And everybody else that you see on the screen, whether you see them every day or you see them once or twice a week, every single person who's with us now, who was with us before, has had a hand in making this thing successful and making the Inside Edge Network successful. But to also hear the feedback and to see you guys watch it day in and day out, and to see a platform grow and to really change the industry, that is my why. My why is to really elevate and do our part in elevating Cleveland media to a new level. My why for this particular show, Midnight Run, I know how tough it is to be battling at this hour. And typically we don't go super serious at this hour for a purposeful reason. I don't want people to be miserable going to bed. I want people to have fun. I want people to be informed and entertained. And hopefully we'll have a laugh or two. Not all the time, but hopefully you have a laugh or two before you go to bed. I know what it's like laying down in bed and you're just scrolling. You're just looking. Not even thinking about, whatever. And you need that source you need that source. And hopefully, and why this nighttime stream has been absolutely successful, is hopefully around 10 o'clock or starting next week, 9, and then the week after 8 o'clock, you find us and you keep us on your phone, on your laptop, on your computer, on your television, and you just keep us with you and you rock out with us. No pressure. You just tell your friends, you tell your family about us. And if you like that, and then you like some of our other programming that we have throughout the days and things like that, including Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast, Real Talk with Papa Moon, the main event on Sunday nights, Illegal Formation, Jersey Chase, Voice of the Land. If you love what we're providing, hopefully we're the reason why you're thinking, the reason why there's a smile on your face on your way to bed. Was that good, Eli?
It was great, Double A. Absolutely great, man. I love it. I love it. And yeah, like Double A said, a big thank you to all of you for tuning in and rocking with us in September of 2025. These are a lot of people, you see on air and behind the scenes, some that, don't necessarily jump on air as much, that are making an impressive impact, a standout impact. And these are a lot of people that are seasoned veterans, some that have just started, recently in terms of broadcasting. And I'm beyond proud. I took even a hiatus myself. Obviously I've been in music the last 8 years, started, at 18 with sports broadcasting. And, to get the call from Double A and to be in the position we're at now, it literally, he said it, it doesn't happen with all the team behind us on that front line with us. And with all of you supporting every day, following, liking, subscribing, telling your friends, being out in the community and just letting people know. And we got a lot of big things planned. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So we appreciate you. And believe it or not, you guys help us out too. When we're having bad days, we don't show it on camera, but when we're having bad days or span a bad stretch, we are so gracious for all of you every single night, whether you're listening to us talk about slippery stairs or why, college football is going to go through a shakeup. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We're not going anywhere. We're just getting started, but it's crazy to think we're entering year 2 next month.
It's unreal. But if you see how hard our team works, it's very believable that we're here at this moment. Very believable. And with your support. All right, let's thank you guys very much. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, Jeff Passett, he was on with Ryan Russillo, and this footage is very fascinating because we've been hearing the Los Angeles Dodgers take all this blame for the downfall of baseball. They have Scooble now, and he debuted on Tuesday against the Chicago Cubs. But I'll tell you when we come back why I don't blame the Dodgers. yes, they're taking advantage of a system, but I lean more towards the owners that are not spending the money necessary to win. We'll talk about that and how the Cleveland Guardians, just follow me. I know they got swept, but it's okay. We can still, it's baseball. Things can turn around. How the Cleveland Guardians can save baseball in 2027. Only the Guardians, nobody else. We'll take a break, come back right after this on Midnight Run.
Key On Sports is the leader in Ohio high school athletic coverage in written, print, and video streaming. From the latest news and results and written content to the high school football game of the week every Friday, Key On Sports has you covered. The vision of 15-time published author Vince McKee has become the most trusted site in Ohio high school athletic news. From podcasts to player profiles, Key On Sports is your one-stop for all of it. Visit them today at keyonsports.com or on YouTube at Key On Sports. Check out their socials on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. So guys, awesome show today here on Unfiltered. Great conversation with Jake Underwood. We talked about a lot, including the voting age. 16, is it too young? Jake thinks so. Priorities, right? Problems we're actually dealing with when it comes to being able to afford everyday life. That was a big topic of the conversation, so make sure you guys check that out. Also, talked about a bunch of things involving the chemical incident down at Royal Chemical in Macedonia, local fire department too, dealing with issues with money, someone stealing it. Crazy to think about first responders getting money taken away from them to be able to do their jobs for you in the community. Tomorrow, it is the final 5 p.m. edition of Unfiltered until we move to 9 p.m. starting next Monday. So stop by and enjoy the ride. Also, of course, we will have not only all your local news, sports, everything breaking, but the reveal of our memes of the week. All that tomorrow, 5 p.m. for the last time here at Unfiltered, all along the Inside Edge Network. I will see you Friday.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
By the way, this show will be the last time you see that particular slide because on Monday it will be adjusted to weeknights at 11:30 here on the Inside Edge Network Midnight Run, starting on Monday 11:30 to 1 o'clock. And you don't want to miss the early start time, by the way, because we have a guest here on Midnight Run, Mike Sando, who we talked about with the Athletics QB list. Check out yesterday's episode. We went very deep into Shedeur Sanders' ranking and Deshaun Watson's ranking. We talked about how there's a current NFL head coach, not named Todd Monken, who voted Deshaun Watson as a tier 2 quarterback. Tier 2. We'll get in. We'll ask Mike about that coming up Monday. He'll be with us during the 11:30 half hour this Monday from The Athletic. He researched the QB tiers list. We will have him for you at 11:30 during that half hour on Midnight Run. You do not want to miss it. We'll talk a little bit about our QB tiers list coming up before the end of this hour. I know things look bleak for the Guardians after getting swept by the Mets. Here's the good news. You know who else got swept? What up, Boston? How you doing? Thank you, Red Sox, for sweeping the White Sox. Thank you. So, hey, Guardians are still 3 back. And guess who we face this weekend? Guess who we got? The Chicago White Sox. Now, the last go-around, it was pretty much a 500 split. I think the White Sox took 4. I think we took 3 or something of that nature. But we got an opportunity here. Opportunity this weekend. This is the showdown. Here we go. You want playoff baseball? Now here in August, you can make a little bit of a difference here. And just recapping the AL Central standings. Oh, my goodness. Pretend like Kansas City's not in the division for a hot second. But you got the White Sox. They're 3 ahead of both us, Cleveland, and the Minnesota Twins. Chicago White Sox 59 and 55. Us, Cleveland, and Minnesota 57 and 59. The Detroit Tigers only a half game behind of us, 56 and 59 for the Tigers. And Detroit, took 2 or 3 from Seattle this week. So AL Central, you got 4 teams that's in it with the AL Central. And again, we will talk about that series, I'm sure, this Sunday night on the main event. Myself, Eli, Rob Rizicki, we'll have that covered. Okay, time to get to it. The big topic of discussion this week in the world of baseball, the Dodgers are evil. They're evil. I'm not saying they're not, right? But are they like evil in the sense of you can't stand them, or are they evil as in, it's Dr. Evil at times? He could be decently cool. I don't know. We'll see. But the main topic of discussion, do you blame for where we are in baseball? Do you blame the Dodgers or the cheap owners? Jeff Passan was on earlier this week with Ryan Russillo. Great piece of audio. Let's take a look.
So what role do the Dodgers play in the legitimacy of I think it's an ownership concern more it is about an overall compensation concern towards the players?
The Dodgers, to me, Ryan, are such a fascinating character in all of this because they are painted and portrayed as this like moneyed and villainous group that is using its natural resources to take over baseball. And to some extent, that's true. Major League Baseball, in the collective bargaining agreement, penalizes teams through money. If you go over the competitive balance tax, really the only substantial penalty that you're paying is money. And guess what? Guggenheim and Steve Cohen have a lot of goddamn money. And baseball really is the only sport that I can see where you're penalized for trying hard and there's no penalty for not trying. And I'm not going to sit here, Ryan, and tell you that the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Kansas City Royals have the capacity to go and do the same thing that the Dodgers do. But what is realistic is that the lower teams on the end of things can spend more, and that there can be some sort of penalties put in place on the top end that don't include necessarily a salary cap to make it such that teams are not going to want to spend. And that's how you shrink the gap between the two that has grown and grown and is at the point now where it's as big as we've ever seen.
5 lowest payrolls by team in 2025. Miami's around $67 million. The Athletics, $73 million. Tampa, $80. White Sox, $82. Pittsburgh's just under $88 million. Miami's $67 million payroll would have been 16th in MLB rankings in 2005.
And there you go. Netflix has podcast. Netflix also has video games. How about that? But no, great. And I've been very consistent about this. Also, courtesy of Barstool Sports. If you're just proposing a salary cap and not a floor, this is where both are needed with baseball. Just as much as we need the cap, with the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Cubs and every other big market team you could think of, even the Blue Jays, you need a floor too. You need to force, the 10 teams at the bottom to spend money. Because the more I'm thinking about this, and let me be clear about this too. I'm not suddenly a Los Angeles Dodgers fan, right? If the Dodgers are in the World Series and they're facing whomever, I'm probably not going to root for the Dodgers. But for me, it's I don't want you to win, but I'm not going to destroy you for winning. I'm not going to destroy you for trying to win and trying to take advantage of the rules and regulations and resources that are there. What I will do is blame an organization like the Pittsburgh Pirates, an organization like the Kansas City Royals for not even putting up a fight just so that their fans can have something reasonable to watch. And that lays the difference. Now, baseball is extremely tricky. It's very complex to discuss and break down because, quite simply, even if you do spin, there is a chance that you still won't field a good team. And the worst thing you could do is spin and your team is terrible. And so thus you're not making money anyway. So that could be the worst thing that you could do. But the second worst thing you could do is to not even try. I have shared this story with our guys and with my close friends, and I'll share with you guys. I remember 5 years ago, me and my ex, we, for her birthday, it was like, hey, let's take a little road trip to Pittsburgh. This is the summer. I wasn't taking her to a Steelers game, but this is the summer. So the Cleveland Guardians, well, at that point, the Indians, at the time, they were traveling to Pittsburgh to face the Pirates. And what I typically like to do, and the reason why we have our Around the Dial segment, which we'll bring back next week here on Midnight Run, when I go to new towns, I like to listen to their sports talk station. I want to get the vibe of what they're talking about, what the word on the street, right? So I flipped over to their sports talk station that had the Pittsburgh Pirates, the official broadcast of the Pirates. This is June of 2021. Can you imagine you flip over to the Guardians pregame show in the middle of June and 50%, 60% of the pregame show is spent talking about the minor league system? That was the Pirates pregame show. When I listened, the network official pregame show, 60% of their pregame show was them breaking down their minor league prospects. I'm not talking a segment. I'm not, because every network, we do it here in Cleveland. Once a week, there might be a minor league segment like, hey, here's what's going on with the Akron Rubber Ducks. Here's what's happening with the Lake County Captains. Like, you may have that once a week. There might be what we call an element, a station element to that. This was over 60% of their network pregame show heading into Pirates Guardians. Now, you tell me where their priorities are. And you tell me who actually gives a damn about the product they're putting out on the field. And you tell me how well they're actually taking care of Paul Skeens right now. And just period, right? So that's where things get frustrating. It's like when you don't even try. That's why baseball and like football are very different. The Browns, for all of their faults, are at least trying to. They're doing a poor job at times, but at least they're trying to put out a winning product. Imagine having a pro sports team that doesn't even try to field a competitive team. It's happening in Pittsburgh. That's happening in Kansas City. And then take a team like the Athletics. You know, they're failing to put together a great baseball team. And then they turn around and look at the city of Oakland and say, oh, you guys are not fixing up you're not giving us a new stadium. You're not filling up our the seats. We're going to move to another town. And the city of Oakland is saying, where the hell's our winning product? Billy Bean's been gone for a long time. Where's our, we're talking Moneyball back in 2002. Still a great movie. I watch that movie once a year. Great movie. Moneyball. Great movie. But Moneyball is cool in concept and novelty in concept. The problem, though, is that shouldn't be the foundation. At least with Moneyball, at least you're trying. It's, teams like the A's back in the day, teams like the Guardians now, the Tampa Bay Rays. They don't have that much resources, but at least, well, what they do have, they're giving it a shot. And I know the series against the Mets has not turned out well. I know, we didn't get good news with Jose Ramirez earlier in the week, but at least this week, you've seen a team that's tried. Now, is it enough? No, but it's better than what's going on in a city like Pittsburgh. Now, I say all that to say this. We all agree a lockout's going to happen. December 1st of 2026 of this year, that is the official date, when the CBA ends. Very few people expect any type of agreement to be made by that point, and it probably won't be. Baseball is kind of screwed from this standpoint, right? If the Dodgers win it all, it kind of it confirms what a lot of people have said, right? It confirms that you have a team that has unlimited resources. They win all the damn time, and they have prospects. It's a dynasty that nobody can stop, and we need to figure out a way to stop it if the Dodgers win it all. I'm not going to be a hypocrite either. If the Dodgers do win the World Series, I guarantee you on one of these shows, I'm going to say that. So I'm just forecasting even my own blind spots. I'm going to say something like that. And baseball fans are going to believe that. And, they're going to see that. But also having anywhere between 12 to 15 teams that would be under the hypothetical salary floor at this moment, that's a problem as well. There's only one team that can save all of this. It's the organization that nationally might be one of the more respected organizations in all of baseball. It's the Cleveland Guardians. The Cleveland Guardians. So when the Cleveland Guardians made the moves earlier in the week, and they were great moves. When they made the moves, you got Buster Olney, you got others saying, "Hey, you know what? I have the Guardians ranked very high." It's so funny. It's funny when you hear national versus local perspective. Locally, we're ready to smash the Guardians for any mistake that they made, and it's very easy to do so now because they were just swept. But if you talk to national people about the Cleveland Guardians, there's nothing but love and respect for what this organization has done, because they're the one organization, along with Tampa Bay, that with their limited resources has, in the national eyes, all right, they're finally spending, they're finally, maneuvering and making things work with the resources that they have. And if somehow, some way, in an American League that's not as strong, an American League that's not as competitive as the National League, although right now we're in a dogfight in the Central, you get to the World Series, imagine if imagine if baseball plays out like baseball, right? You get to the World Series, all you need is 4 games, right? All you need is 4 W's. And if the Guardians, it doesn't matter who they face on the other side. And I'm not even talking about realistic chances. I'm just talking about what if. If the Guardians get hot, they get to October, they win a few series, things fall their way. Maybe they face the White Sox in the ALCS, and maybe they beat them, and they get to the World Series. It doesn't matter if Milwaukee's on the other side or the Dodgers. And which, by the way, I agree with Chris Rose. I didn't grab the clip, but Chris Rose made a point. He was like, why did Milwaukee not grab Skubal? I want to see if Eli has thoughts on it another time. We don't have time tonight. But why did Milwaukee not grab Skubal of all teams? But that's a topic for another day. I just thought Chris Rose did a great job talking about that. But if the Guardians win it all, every perception that a lot of people think about baseball will be broken. Finally, a small market team can win it all if they prove that they can spin. If they prove they can make the necessary trades. If you do things the right way, you could win it all. What's broken? No other team can pull this off. No other team. I would say Tampa, but Tampa, I know they haven't won in a while, but they've been around, they've been there, done that. And nobody really roots for Tampa. No, my apologies. Nobody really roots for Tampa. Milwaukee has to get by the Dodgers first, and they haven't proven that they could do that. But Milwaukee's looked at one of the big boys. The Guardians, however, Cleveland, longest drought in baseball right now. Haven't won since the late 40s. We broke the streak of the Cubs. We broke the streak of the White Sox all those years ago. We broke the streak of the Red Sox all those years ago. All that's left is Cleveland. And let's make something perfectly clear, too. We win the World Series here in Cleveland. I'll give you Cleveland's reaction. It's going to be complete joy, and it's going to be, you better play in 2027. We're going out there and defending our championship. We're not going to sit at home. You better go out there in 2027. So I think if they win it all, there will be less of a fight. I think a lockout still happens, but I'll say this as we go to break, but I don't think regular season games are missed. I don't think there are much drastic changes with baseball. You'll see changes, but not as drastic, because now you get to see, a small market team that finally is doing it correctly, you can win it all. And, excuse me, one World Series victory for Cleveland can last for some a lifetime. That's the power of a championship. We'll take a break, and talk a little QB tiers, just a bit, because then we got to wrap the show up. We'll talk about that next on the other side.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick.
With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh.
I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
All right, so a little homework assignment for me. I have to compile our individual QB tiers list here and like make averages and things like that and send it out publicly here. Good, but everyone did a great job with these. Let me pick a quarterback real quick from each division here. I'll just make some quick notes, and again, we'll release it all over the weekend or at some point next week. Remember, Mike Sando of The Athletic, he did the executive quarterback or with executives, head coaches, coordinators, general managers. He will be with me on Midnight Run this Monday night, early start time, our new start time, 11:30, right here on the Inside Edge Network. You do not want to miss that interview. Let me go through a few quarterbacks real quick. First off, AFC West for Mahomes. Can he remain a tier one quarterback? Will we talk about Mahomes as a tier one quarterback this time next year? When you're coming off an ACL injury, can he move around how he used to be able to move around? That's going to be a big question with Mahomes. Also, recovery time. I don't know if he's slated for week 1, but early on, he will be tested. Be mindful, too, the schedule for Kansas City is a little soft in September for television reasons. So he'll have an opportunity. But can Mahomes perform like a tier 1 quarterback? In Mike Sando's list, he was not a universal tier 1. Actually, on our network tiers, he was not a universal tier 1. You know who did not vote Patrick Mahomes for tier 1? The owner of our network, Peter Tulloch, had him as a tier 2. Everyone else who voted has him as a tier 1. So that was very, very, very interesting. All right, to the NFC East. I kind of went a little out of order here. AFC North, we talked extensively about Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. The biggest question and the biggest disagreement internally is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow on the Athletics QB tiers list is a tier 1. I have Joe Burrow as a tier 2. I am very concerned about his injury history. Can I give more than 10 games from Joe Burrow? I'm asking for 11 games for Joe Burrow. That's all I'm asking, 11 games. Can he be on the field for that long or not? You can't be a tier 1. There is no such thing as a part-time tier 1 quarterback. That's why I didn't vote for him as a tier 1. You cannot be a part-timer and be considered a tier 1, in my opinion. Now, was I the only one? Let's see. Pete has him as a tier 2. Riziki has him as a tier 2. Everyone else has him as a tier 1, Joe Burrow. We're going to talk more about Joe Burrow next week. AFC East. I would talk about Geno Smith. I'm not going to. I'll leave that to Eli. Drake May. Much harder schedule for the New England Patriots. When you go to the playoffs, you F around, you want to win divisions and stuff, you get a first-place schedule. So let's see what happens, with the Patriots. Now that they have a first-place schedule, tougher competition. I have Drake May as a tier 2. I believe everyone except Rob has him as a tier 2. Riziki has him as a tier 3 quarterback. But, yeah, let's see what happens with Drake May with a tougher schedule. AFC South, I have questions about C.J. Stroud. Can C.J. Stroud be that dude? He's on a contract year, folks. On a contract year, can C.J. Stroud be the dude that we expected him to be, the first year or two coming out of Ohio State with the Texans, or has he hit his ceiling? Is this it? To be fair, he was missing pieces last year. By the way, kudos to Tank Dell. Tank Dell, horrific injury right before Christmas of 2024. Out the whole season, finally this week in full pads. So shout out to Tank Dell. Much respect. And I hope Tank Dell has a great comeback season. If he does, he has my vote for comeback player of the year if he does. But CJ Stroud is going to be an interesting one. I believe I have the lowest grade on CJ Stroud out of everyone. I do. I have him at tier 3. The rest of and Eli has him as tier 3. Actually, Eli, explain yourself with CJ Stroud. I'll mention as he comes on the screen. Autumn has CJ Stroud as a tier 1. Chad Bryant, Rob Riziki, Peter Tulloch, and Ryan Mosser and Evander has him as a tier 2. Myself and Eli has CJ Stroud in tier 3. Eli, explain your vote.
Yeah, I mean, just based off the criteria, tier 2 is like it could consistently, for the most part, win games. You're not going to get it all the time, but, he can kind of defeat most of the odds. We haven't seen that out of CJ Stroud. That's coming from somebody that has him on their fantasy football team. Look, I mean, that aside for a moment, you've seen the dip off or the drop off from CJ Stroud from year 1 to year 2 to year 3. I mean, you've seen it. And he's been a beneficiary of a fantastic defense. That's what the Texans invested in primarily when it came to that Deshaun Watson trade that we know so well here in Cleveland. They obviously got Willie Anderson. That completely reset how that defense was shaped. D'Amico Ryans, he's a defensive-minded coach. Maybe that kind of plays into a little bit with CJ Stroud too to keep in mind, but I haven't seen him necessarily take over a game, a meaningful game where he just takes over recently. And maybe if we were ranking him after year 1 AA, he's probably a tier 2 quarterback in my mind. But this is not year 1 after year 1. This is, we're, like you said, a contract year. I have him at tier 3. I think he needs a running game or a defense. And right now he has a defense that keeps him in games. Let's remind, everybody, the postseason game against the Steelers, that defense won them that game. It wasn't because of CJ Stroud. It was because the defense of the Houston Texans played very good ball. So I'm curious to see, but I think, he can have a good year. We talked yesterday about Shador and some of these guys that can make a jump. I think we can see CJ Stroud become a tier 2, maybe even tier 1. If he has a hell of a year, I have no problem putting him tier 1 because there has been a few strong seasons from him, but we haven't seen rookie CJ Stroud that level since rookie CJ Stroud.
No, I agree. And I don't feel right now at this stage he could outduel any of the tier 2 quarterbacks at this moment.
No,
not right now. And you're exactly right. Tier 3, based on our standards, tier 3, you got a quarterback who's good, average to above average, who needs help around him, like significant help around him to be successful and not consistent. That's CJ Stroud. To the NFC East, the one I want to go to, the biggest question will be Jalen Hurts. I want to go to Jackson Dart.
Okay.
Jackson Dart, you have him at tier 4, which tier 4 means, still unproven, younger guy. It also means journeyman veteran as well. But I thought he did prove himself a little bit. I want to see more. I have him at tier 3. Dart has an opportunity out of all the tier 3/tier 4 guys. I think Dart has the strongest opportunity to ascend to tier 2, or dare I say, if the Giants win the division and they have a decent run in the playoffs under Harbaugh, a fringe tier 1.
Yeah, I just think he's unproven right now. I think the hype and everything was starting to develop around him in New York, and then he got hurt. Scadaboo went down, and then he went down. And the Giants were a lot of fun for about those 5 to 6 weeks. Both those guys were healthy, but it just kind of, the wheels fell off. And maybe that is a testament to how good Jackson Dart is. Is that a testament to how good Cam Scadaboo and Jackson Dart, the combo, is, which again ties into tier 3. Do you need a good running game? Scadaboo. Tyrone Tracy's going to get some more snaps. I believe they have Devin Singletary in that backfield too. I
think so. Yes.
I don't know if Jackson Dart is tier 1, tier 2 level. After this year, I think I could see him go to tier 3 AA, maybe tier 2, maybe. But I just think for me, when I looked at it, and I based my answer off of, there wasn't enough tape. If you're using the criteria that Joe Burrow needs to play 11 games to be tier 1, I believe Jackson Dart needs to play a full NFL season to be at least tier 3.
Fair enough. To the NFC North. Oh, you said something about Kyler Murray. I heard you on Primetime.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard you on Primetime. So tell the audience what you said about Kyler Murray.
I think Kyler Murray is going to be an MVP candidate this year. Now, will he be a finalist? We'll see. But I think when we discuss, who's your 5 to 6 guys after week 10 or 11 who are being discussed, I think it's time, and I had a different take a little bit about the Vikings, but the more and more I've thought about it, I think the Vikings have a really strong chance to win the NFC North. I know it sounds crazy to a lot of people. Their defense was coming along very well at the end of the season last year. They were starting to find some momentum. Justin Jefferson's still there. Justin Jefferson wants to win. He loves Minnesota. He was at SummerSlam, obviously hyping up the crowd. He is invested. While every other star receiver said, I want out of my city, he is locked in with Minnesota and rocked through a lot of tumultuous stuff. And if he can put up with 2 seasons of J.J. McCarthy, he sure as hell can put up with Kyler Murray. And the one thing I think a lot of people forget about, yes, Kyler Murray is a smaller quarterback. Yes, he has his problems with not putting down the controller. I get it. I do believe Kevin O'Connell, of all people, who has helped shape Sam Darnold's career to where he went to Seattle after and won a Super Bowl. You look at some of these other guys that he's worked with in the past, he's had success. I think the same is with Kyler Murray, a former number 1 overall pick and a guy that can air it out. He's going to Minnesota where they're in a dome, AA, so it's not like he changes anything. it's like, hey, it's basically warm weather because you're in a dome. Yeah, maybe a little chilly from the outside elements. I think Kyler Murray is going to have his best season as a pro this year. I think Justin Jefferson starts to flirt with 2,000 receiving yards this year. And I think the Vikings could be a problem. Do they win the division? Maybe not. But if not, they're a problem in the wild card.
They could be the only thing that could stop Minnesota from winning the division. Detroit has a very easy schedule. So Detroit might get some easy wins, and it might, but I could see playoffs. I have Kyler Murray tier 3. I have him tier 3. Just, let's see what he has, right? Let's see. Right. I'll put it to you this way. If we're wrong here, then it's the player's fault here with Kyler Murray because the talent is there. The talent is there. Size might be a bit of an issue, but he has arm strength and he's mobile. Like, he can still move around, and he has a big weapon, like you mentioned, Justin Jefferson. That is an X factor. Justin Jefferson, and no offense to Marvin Harrison Jr., but Marvin Harrison Jr. is not Justin Jefferson.
He's not. And, you also, if Jordan Addison can stay, on the field for whatever reason, but if he could just stay on the field, and TJ Hawkinson, obviously still a good safety blanket. There's a lot to like in terms of when it comes to Minnesota in that offense. And again, if Kevin O'Connell can't fix him AA, there ain't no fixing Kyler Murray. But I've seen the success out of O'Connell and quarterbacks. I believe Kyler Murray's going to have his best year as a pro.
Can Bryce Young in the NFC South, can Carolina, can they run it back and get back into the playoffs? I have Bryce Young as a tier 3. You have him as a tier 3. There's a pretty consistent mix of 3s. There's some 2s from our team as well. I think there's 3. Autumn, Chad, and Evander has Bryce Young at tier 2. The rest of us, myself or us, Pete, Brzezicki, and Ryan Mosser has Bryce Young as a tier 3.
Yeah, I just think he's not at the level of taking over games, which I believe was what tier 2 is, at least at some level. That Carolina defense is a menace. You have a ton of guys that are going to wreak havoc. This is the same Carolina team that was causing problems for Matthew Stafford in games. So Carolina's defense is very problematic, and I believe Bryce Young's benefited off of that. Now, you can't knock his growth. His growth has been incredible from year 1 to year 2 and so on and so forth. We have seen the development from Bryce Young to where he was going to get benched. He did get benched, and they were talking about life after Bryce Young. Well, he's changed that narrative. He is a starting quarterback with the Carolina Panthers, and I'm curious to see what they look like moving forward. How are guys like Xavier Legette going to look? He had a year last year. How's he going to look? Ted McMillan, first-round pick from not this past draft that just happened, but the year previously. How is he going to look? How are some of these guys around him going to look? I'm curious because I believe they lost Rico Dowdle in free agency. So I'm curious to see what they look like at the running game. But yeah, Bryce Young's not there yet.
I'll tell you why I'm smiling here in a couple seconds.
Okay.
To the NFC West, our final division. All 4 of these quarterbacks are intriguing storyline. Jacoby Brissett, Matthew Stafford, Brock Purdy, and Sam Darnold, all intriguing in some way, shape, or form. We could talk about Stafford, and is this tier 1 rating justified as universal across our team as a tier 1? I want to zero in on Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett was the hardest one to grade out of every quarterback because he is unproven, but he did ask for a lot of money. And fantasy football-wise, he was fantastic. He was fantastic for me. But he didn't win on the field. I almost wish there was a separate tier solely for Jacoby Brissett. I don't know.
Yeah, and he's definitely not a tier 5 quarterback if anybody's thinking, well, he's a backup. Well, we've had him here in Cleveland. And he held it down. It wasn't necessarily pretty at all times, but he held it down. He's definitely serviceable. So I think he falls into that veteran journeyman because he's been at different spots. He started in New England, went to Indy, bounced around a few different spots, Cleveland in that run, and then, of course, now Arizona to get that bag. And I just think he's more of a journeyman, more of a veteran guy that you bring in to stabilize the locker room. I would be surprised if Jacoby Brissett starts the entire 17-game season. I know Carson Beck only had 1 game tonight, but he had a few impressive few impressive drives, few impressive plays, and it has a lot of people already discussing what the future could look like in Arizona. And maybe the Cardinals just paid this guy when they shouldn't have. And I'm not knocking Jacoby Brissett. Get that bag, and you know what? You play your hand right. But maybe the Cardinals are looking at life with Carson Beck by middle of the season.
Now, you want to know what's amazing about live television or live podcasting?
What's that?
I have the tiers list on the other screen. Like
it's being updated.
It's being updated right now.
Hey, once you put it in, you can't update it. Once you can't put it in, you can't update it. Unless you haven't filled it out yet.
Kyle just put in his votes. You want to know some of the... I'm not revealing the whole... I'm going to share the entire list over the weekend. Yes. But let's see if anything like stands out out of the.
Where does he have Darnold at? Good
question. Tier 2.
I figured he had him in his top 10 list earlier on Unfiltered earlier this month, so that makes sense. I believe I had Darnold at tier 3, if I'm not mistaken. I think I had
all right. So a few interesting votes here. Let's see. Just looking through: Lamar tier 2, Joe Burrow tier 1. Aaron Rodgers tier. We haven't talked much about Aaron Rodgers. We will as camp continues. The overall consensus with Aaron Rodgers mostly tier 3, but there are 2s. Kyle, your dad, Papa Moon.
Yes.
Pete has tier 2. Let's see. Drake May. Kyle has him as a tier 1.
Yeah, he's very high on Drake May. I think he had him in his top 5 or 6 in that same list with Darnold at 10. And I don't know. I mean, Kyle and I disagree on some things, and one of us will be right and one of us will be wrong. That's how things work. But I just believe Drake May, you mentioned it earlier, benefited off of a bad schedule, and they were able to ride the hot hand and do it. Now, if he can do it again, I'll eat my words, but I'm curious. Stephon Diggs, I know, is not necessarily the greatest locker room chemistry guy, but he also provided a lot of value on the offensive side of things, and they lost Stephon Diggs. He's now in Washington. I don't know what it's going to look like for New England in terms of, hey, who is Drake May throwing the ball to? Because they didn't really add a lot of guys on that offensive side that stand out to me like, wow. I get that. I know they added A.J. Brown. I think that's going to be more of a problem than people think. And that's what I'll say. I know we have a ton of time before the regular season starts. Not a ton, but enough to break it down. I think we'll talk about it on Primetime. But I just think the Patriots are going to be a disaster. Everything in the offseason that's going to affect a young quarterback. He's still a young quarterback. He's in year 3. This is going to affect a young quarterback. And now you have to worry about what everything Jalen Hurts had to worry about in Philadelphia, except for you don't have a Super Bowl ring with the guy, and you're not friends with him going into this. A.J. Brown is going to want the ball 13 to 15 times targeted a game. And on the low end, okay, 9 to 10. How is Drake May going to be able to force feed A.J. Brown the ball and still be efficient? Because the big thing that we talked about about Drake May is his ability to spread the ball around and make some of these guys that weren't necessarily superstars or even stars look better than what they were. So I don't know how that's going to look when we've seen it in Cleveland AA with Baker Mayfield. And I know whatever. But you see with Baker Mayfield, when he had to get Odell Beckham Jr. the ball because it was the Odell show, it didn't work. It actually stunted.
It didn't work. It was a problem. And we got to remember, too, with Drake May, and this is the one time I'll use his experience, his run to the Super Bowl as a negative, just for argument's sake. In the AFC Championship game, because of the elements, he wasn't really required to drive the ball down the field. It was just don't turn the ball over.
Right.
In the Super Bowl, he didn't drive the ball down the field at all.
Right.
Seattle took care of him, took him out back in the Super Bowl.
This is such a sorry, real quick. I know you.
Go ahead.
I know we're already well over 1 a.m. But what I'll say is, I think this is a very important year for Drake May and A.J. Brown for both their careers, because this could really stunt the growth of Drake May if it turns into, hey, get A.J. Brown the football. We don't care if we lose 24-10. You got to get him the football. And for A.J. Brown, all the talk of in Philadelphia was like A.J. Brown's the issue. It's not Jalen Hurts. It's not Nick Sirianni. It's not any of these other guys. Is A.J. Brown going to be able to have a standout year where he goes, look, it wasn't me that was the issue. I just need to get somewhere else and change the scenery. This is a very important year for both those guys.
Very important year for him, and very important year for Jalen Hurts. Our team is kind of split on Jalen Hurts. A good chunk of tier 2. I have him at tier 2. You have him as tier 1. Kyle has him. There's a few who has him in tier 1. I do need a vote for you on one player. There's one player I completely forgot about.
Yeah, crazy that you forgot about the starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. How could you? Carly Ursay Gordon or whatever. She's looking at you like, are you serious? We believe in this guy. We believe in him.
Full transparency, I have this guy as my fantasy football quarterback.
I know, and I'm pretty sure you traded the guy that
this guy and Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you traded the guy that you have on the tracker at one point. So, okay, I'm assuming you need a vote for, I'd guess,
Daniel Jones.
Okay.
What do you have for Daniel Jones?
Tier 3.
Okay.
Tier 3. I mean, he needs things to work around him. Jonathan Taylor is the Indianapolis Colts offense. Let's not make a mistake. And yes, there were a few fun Daniel Jones games. The reason he was able to have such success is because for the first time in a long time that the Colts didn't have to worry about them loading, 8 in the box to worry about Jonathan Taylor. They had to spread it out. And then when they started having Taylor run and just be a monster, he was an MVP candidate last year. When he was starting to run, now they put 8 in the box. So you saw how the offense worked. Early on, when they started, they respected a little bit of both sides of the game.
Yeah,
Taylor would tear through into the second wave, third wave of the defense. Okay, we got to put 8 in the box. As soon as they put 8 in the box, Daniel Jones, little quick dump off to the tight end. Hey, a little halfback tail, a little route out to the outside, whatever. But that's why I think Daniel Jones had success. It is literally dependent on Jonathan Taylor, which I'm actually surprised. On a side note, he only got only $44 million, but he only got $44 million. I think he got severely underpaid.
Yes,
and the Colts should be thanking their lucky stars that they were able to get him back on board for another few years with that type of money.
I fully agree. Now, I will say this too about Daniel Jones. He did not get an opportunity. I know they started 7-3, 8-3, the Colts. And he got hurt. I was very curious to see how that season would have finished with Daniel Jones, because he finally, again, he was the number 6 pick of the draft all those years ago. Never really had sustained success in New York. He was finally showing something in Indy, and the injury prematurely into his season. So, I mean, I put down a 3, but a tier 4 grade, is very fair.
Yeah.
If you have him in tier 4. I think Autumn has Daniel Jones in tier 4. Kyle just put in tier 4.
Yeah.
I can live with a tier 4 grade with Daniel Jones, because last season it went very differently from the other seasons.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a lot of interesting things with Daniel Jones. How's the injury going to look? The recovery from injury. How is that offense going to look, especially after the deflating season? They were the number 1 team in the AFC. Then everything hit the fan, and they were not even in the playoffs. How are they going to look going into this year?
Final question.
Yes.
And this is from Kyle. Go down to the Saints quarterback.
Okay. Yeah, Tyler Shuck.
Yeah. Our Saints fan already. The hell with tier 4. This is a tier 5. Get him out of there.
I mean, and I know Kyle's hard on the Saints draft picks, Sheldon Rankins in the past, other guys. I mean, he did win games for the Saints. Actually, the reason the Saints had a lesser draft pick in terms of position is because Tyler Shuck was winning football games. Yeah. I don't think he's a long-term answer. Kyle and I have talked off air about how he feels it's Brandon Weeden 2.0, but this time in New Orleans. As far as you're building a long-term future, I don't know, but I mean, tier 4 is what I'd have Shuck at.
I've heard. I'm going to be brutally honest on camera. I have not watched a lick of tape of this kid. I have no idea what he can do.
It's crazy. You're calling him a kid. He's 2 years old, younger than us. No, I'm kidding. I mean, he is 27. He's 20. I got to double check.
Brandon Weeden all over again?
Dude, he's 26. He'll be 27 on the 28th of next month.
Oh, he's old. Never mind. He's old.
Yeah, easy. I just turned 29. 27 is not old.
Kyle says he's going to retire by week 10.
I mean, you might be right. I mean, I don't know, man. Hey, they're getting ready for.
According to people who are who's going to come back and perhaps win the, win their division, go to the playoffs. People are saying the Saints.
And I'm interested. Here's the thing for Kyle.
Because the NFC South, all hell could break loose. I mean,
absolutely.
If Atlanta does have a QB room and, they're all hurt, and then if Carolina can't run things back, and if Baker Mayfield is more – if the whole situation with Baker and his contract, if that backfires, here come the Saints marching on in.
Right. And maybe Kyle is just starting to get his Arch Manning stuff ready already. Maybe he's already got his name-plated Arch Manning jersey. He's getting ready. They had Archie rather in New Orleans years and years ago. Maybe he's getting ready for Arch Manning in New Orleans.
Speaking of Arch, I think that's how he should go into the weekend. I mean, what qualifies you to be a booty warrior?
As somebody who's been single for almost 4 years, I can't give you any
what
advice.
are the qualifications that you need that are required to become a booty warrior? Like, what do you have to do? I did see somebody wrestle with Bailey earlier, and somebody said that was one of the luckiest men in America today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, a booty warrior. I mean, you gotta be all in on the booty. You gotta be all in on the booty. He likes that. You know what? Oh my goodness, dude. And you know what the crazy thing? We have all this ass talk, and then here's Pop Moon with the most wholesome comment of all time. OH, he's just ready for Buckeyes football, man.
OH. That ass.
Oh, buddy.
Maybe that's what we'll name Tier 5 next year. We'll
call it the Cam Ward tier. Their ass. He's not ass. The Titans may still be ass, but some of these quarterbacks also ass. Not booty warriors. Ass.
Later on today, when you wake up this morning, Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast, the complete fallout from SummerSlam. We have a ton to talk about from SummerSlam. And I encourage you, if you're a wrestling fan, watch Side Hustle, because SmackDown is going to be a tad bit busy tomorrow. Like, you got a whole new main event scene over on SmackDown. Like, it's really exciting stuff. And we went into the AAA tournament for Roman Reigns, his next challenge. Do you like that, by the way, Eli?
I love it. I think it's so cool that they're incorporating AAA. They talked about it at the last Mania, at WrestleMania, when they said, this is a joining forces type of thing. I think it could be really, really cool, and I'm excited about that. I'm so glad Kyle's joining the evening stream.
Man, I can't wait. Oh, I can't. Oh, you guys are going to have the most classic overruns. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. From Kyle into Chad and I.
Yeah. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, my.
And what's going to be even great, I think, I'm not speaking anything into existence, but I would imagine the Thursday hits with Jake will continue. Oh, Lord. Is that going to be what, Thursday? He's listening. Kyle, is that going to be Thursday at 9:30, I'm assuming? He'll respond if the answer is yes. He'll confirm. But if it's Thursdays at 9:30 starting this week, that's going to – oh, Lord. Well, folks,
Jake,
Kyle, it's been a great run.
Jake, Kyle, Chad, and I. Somebody get a fire extinguisher, because that thing's going to be –
it's going to be
crazy. Kyle has had too much caffeine, or maybe he got into some of those cupcakes we had on Saturday. Maybe.
Hey, man. Hey. So did whoever Bailey was wrestling. Yeah,
that was a lot of cake.
That was a lot. This the new Chad Gable?
Yeah. They're not yelling skull. They're like, damn.
Dang. Going to the club, all right, it's 1:30. Our first 90-minute show officially kicks off on Monday.
Yeah.
But damn it, today was practice. Have a good night. Kyle will be on tomorrow, 5 o'clock. The rest of us we'll be back with you on Monday, and you'll see us periodically throughout. We got Main Event. You got Real Talk with Papa Moon. You got Side Hustle in a few hours, so definitely check that out. But Monday, Kyle joins the evening stream all the way through 9 to 1 o'clock. And then don't worry, if you're a Daily Spiral fan, Autumn will be back the following Monday, and we just roll through. We're growing. And again, thank you guys for your support. Be safe, and don't be diving in anything you're not supposed to. And if you do, just keep yourself protected. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.